We're live. And welcome. Oh, the king is here, everyone.
Thanks.
Look at his hair. It's all messed up. It's kind of like shaggy and long
I didn't
use
any gel today, so you can see my scalp.
Here, everyone.
My lovely bald spot.
Look at his hair. It's all.
I'm hearing the show.
Are you at you're in your new office, right? In your new home?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I miss all the stuff you had in the background of the old place.
I'm getting blinds put in tomorrow, Friday.
We can almost see your monitor screen from here, so don't
you can
leave
totally
any porn
see
up.
it. Oh yeah, I know. It's like, and then you can see my TV in the upper left hand corner.
That's Pornhub in the background
there.
It's called MSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it is.
It's porn for the rich.
Yes.
There we go.
I have a younger brother who he actively watches C-SPAN. He like really enjoys
the call-in. People are crazy.
No. Like he watches like the live congressional discussions and stuff like that. And I turn on C-SPAN and it's like I always turn on when nobody's talking and there's just like the static camera like on the floor, and then there's just I saw Rob's walkthrough of the fabulous BGG Empire. He didn't show me where my office was though. He must not have found that room. Yeah.
Well, it's the entire second floor, right?
Well, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Both Anthony Ricano and I were discussing that. Like
one that on the loading dock there.
One, the cars did.
Yeah, the loading dock.
Yeah,
it's ready.
Yeah, we didn't see the our cars didn't come to get our rides out to Dallas, and then we didn't see our office. So
Aldi, I just got to ask: is there a glasscock room in the BGG headquarters?
Oh, there better be.
None of the rooms are named, but there is a glasscock-esque room.
Okay, you should totally put a placard on there as the official, unofficial glasscock room.
It's in the video. Rob walked in. It's like the game room / RPG room.
Yeah, I saw the RPG room. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I forgot that I collected D&D minis back in the day, and then I gave them to Jeff to hold because I didn't have room for them in the house, and he found them when we were moving out, and he's like, "I want to make an RPG room," and I'm like, "Okay."
Super cool.
And then it's like thousands of it took them an entire day to sort it all.
I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe the beholders are valuable. I don't know.
They are. I mean, some of the larger, rarer ones. I
have the giant red dragon, but I couldn't find it. I don't know what I did with it.
So when the Waterdeep module came out, and then the book of I can't think of the guy's name. Like Xanathar's Guide to Everything or something like that, or I know it was something, but it's basically the crazy beholder that runs the guild or whatever. Yeah. His miniature went on sale, for like the official like D&D minis or whatever, and it like sold out in like seconds. It's just like kaboom, gone.
Yeah.
So
I should probably pull the rares out, because I don't know. I trust everybody that goes into that building, but
well, you used to trust everybody who checked out your games at the BGG library too.
Yes.
A lot smaller sample size though for the people that go to that headquarters. A lot easier to track down the one person who may have taken something.
Yeah.
How many people go in and out of that office on a daily basis?
Yeah,
maybe 15.
Oh, no way. 5.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Chris Richardson, I will be back in the dungeon maybe next week, maybe a week from Wednesday. Just my family room / office / game area is being completely revamped, and I'm getting I'm trying to figure out shelving right now, and I have a giant pile of games. I have to drop off at Goodwill, some take over to the game record store that just takes my stuff and sells it. And yeah, so I mean, but I am finally, I did the deep cuts like the super deep cuts of like games like, God, I really don't want to get rid of this, but I have never even thought about playing it for 4 years. So off it goes.
I'm in a good spot, actually. I actually, after Tantrum Con, which is in the first weekend of February, they've got a flea market. I should have all of my culling done because I just sent a bunch of stuff that I posted on eBay over the last few weeks away. And then I've got like 40 games I'm taking to the flea market, and I'm just going to drop the prices so ridiculous that they'll sell. So I'm actually at a spot now where I actually have like half empty Calyx shelves for games for this year. And I'm going to stay on top of it this year. I'm not going to let it get out of control. When I get close to filling up a shelf, I either make room or I don't buy it, period. So
I was thinking about doing Calyx, but I think I'm just going to make my own shelves.
I'm telling you, Calyx are great. I went to IKEA last weekend and upgraded one of my bookcases that had all my LCGs and card games into a Calyx shelf. They're just so nice and they work so well. Only things that doesn't fit on them well is those coffin box old school games, and those they fit on the top of the shelving. So I for the price I paid for all my Calyx shelves, it's easily the best investment I've had board game wise. It's just,
I just don't like how they're structured, like as far as like the like how cubed they are. I understand they work really well and it seems like they're perfectly made for it, but I just I'm a fair carpenter. I'll just make my own.
yeah.
Do you know the Scandia shelves from Container Store? SK.
I don't know.
I've never heard of those.
I don't know what I've never even heard of a container
SK.
store. So
You don't know what a Container Store is?
yeah, because I don't have one up here in the frozen white north.
No. Poor you. So they make this shelving called Scandia, and during their shelving sale, I would buy like one shelf a year, or like one module, right? Because you can just keep adding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
When we were at IKEA 2 weeks ago, I went and bought a standing desk. They have a Scandia ripoff. I don't know the name of it. I should have written that down. Would have been useful.
But you like them better than Calyx?
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, Calyx is limiting, right? Like if the games don't fit in there, what are you going to do with them? You can stick them on top. Or you have to have another shelf.
Calyx is getting a lot better, though. They're starting to make a lot more modules for the shelf now. When I went to IKEA this weekend,
Can you get a double wide one? Or?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're coming out with modules for the cubes now. So like they've got small shelves so that you can fit small games like better in those big cubes. And they've got new doors that you can do for like hiding small stuff behind. And I want to say, and I don't know if it's Calyx, but one of my shelves, I think it's part of the Calyx line, has different slots, so it's not square. So it actually has oblong and rectangular shelves. I'll take a picture of it and post it in our group just so you can see. But it's either Calyx or it's another line that looks just like Calyx. But I fit some of my oblong and weird shaped games in that shelf. I think they're getting more into different combinations of the stuff now. So I think like when I was there, I know I saw a lot of different shelving systems that work
really
at
cool,
IKEA.
actually. I love going through the IKEA store.
Yeah, I do too.
So makes you like, what can I do with that little piece of furniture? You know,
there's just a lot of options now. It's definitely a good time to be in board gaming because you can find a shelving unit somewhere that'll fit your games.
I highly recommend Scandia. They're super strong and super configurable, and they're expensive though. That's the only issue.
How much are they compared to Calyx?
Good question.
Like my 5x5, I bought a 5 cube by 5 cube shelf this weekend, and it was $179.
Oh, it's
so that's 15 cubes.
Well, yeah, Scandia is ridiculous. That's why I always bought it during the shelf sale at Container Store. Let me get you a price list here.
No, I'm sorry, 25 cubes.
I mean, I guess there is one in Edina, Minnesota, which is close to the Twin Cities. So I mean, it's 4 hours away, same as my IKEA. So
you can just order the stuff mail order.
Do they not have high?
Well, yeah,
shipping
but then
rate?
I gotta pay shipping.
Well, you won't. They don't keep them in the store anymore either. You always, yeah, I don't know. So a 12 one shelf is $20.
One shelf, and what's one shelf like? What? How much storage?
You need like 6 shelves. They're like you can get them between. Let me see what size.
No, wait. Okay, so is like the shelf just like right now they're selling the shelves for $19.50 or whatever.
Right, but you got to buy 6 of those, and those are 12-inch, right? You probably want the long one.
But how do they? You just put them in the wall?
You see the uprights?
I'm just looking at this. Whitewash Scandia kickboards, whitewash Scandia uprights. Uprights.
So you buy 2 uprights, and that's a shelf, right? Like the left and the right upright, and then you put the shelves inside of it. Like there's pins that you drop in, and the shelves lay in the pins.
Oh.
It's weird. They don't have nearly the selection they used to. It's interesting. And I think they're phasing this out. So it's kind of funny because if you go to I think they really want to sell their alpha. But like if you go to a Container Store, the entire store is their shelves there are Scandia, what they use in the store. But it looks like they don't sell as much anymore.
And now they say not available for delivery. That's great.
Yeah, maybe you get to pick them up. You order to pick up. Yeah, it's really a drag because I love them. Yeah, I would say like a fully decked out Scandia shelf would cost like $500.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's much cheaper.
Yeah, it's way cheaper. That's what. But if you go to the shelving sale, you get like 30% off.
Right.
Makes it only crazy expensive instead of ridiculous. But I bought them 20, 30 years ago, so it's like they've just followed me around. So
they hold up well.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. They're just like they're exactly like they were the first day I bought them.
Nice.
And I've moved 3 times with those.
Yeah.
It's an interesting system, but I don't think they support it as much as they used to.
I'm with Lance. I'll make my own.
Yeah, just make my own.
Sheet grade plywood's like $60. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to, I mean, I guess you could build it so that you would have pins and put in like layers, right, or shelves on pins, so you could go high or low, and depending on the.
My biggest thing now is that I need like really good. Because one wall downstairs in my basement is going to be my board games, and then one wall is going to be all my RPG books, and because they're kind of equal in like space they take up now. So, but I need like bookshelves don't need. I mean, they don't need to be as wide. So I'm looking for bookshelves that are like maybe 9 inches.
Why don't you use Calyxes for your RPG books? Because those are 12-inch by 12-inch cubes.
Because 12 inches is too big for books. Because then they're all the way back, and I don't like that. I like books.
You need a Bobby or Joby. Is it Bobby or Joby? I can't remember. They make a good bookshelf. IKEA.
Who does?
IKEA. They make great bookshelves.
Oh, you mean depth-wise? You only need them like
they're called Jobies, I think. Or
well, you don't have to push them all the way to the back of the shelf either. I mean,
I don't, but I do because I like to do that. That's my personal preference.
Check out the IKEA shelves, Lance. Bookshelves.
Okay, Dad? Jeez, just relax. Joby, you said, like Joby? Like
that's right. Let me find it.
Yeah, you find it.
Lincoln knows. Let me write to Lincoln.
So just I'll get my commercial out of the way. We launched my new company. It was kind of weird. I put together and launched a Kickstarter for a company that wasn't TMG. It felt weird hitting launch on Tuesday for Tortuga 2199, a game about being a space pirate, and it's a like if you remember the old Tortuga game from days past, it's loosely based on that, but
the Queen Tortuga game.
No, no, it's like I have to find it for you. But I mean, it's a deck building area control game where you can actually like attack the other players and loot their ships and so it's a much more confrontational game. But you don't have to be confrontational. You can also there's like space beasts and things like that you can use. You can upgrade your ship and upgrade your crew and all kinds of cool things like that. Anyway. Launched. The cool thing about the game is that if you back it, there's an expansion that will cost $25 after the fact, but if you back it, you get the expansion for free. So Tortuga 2199, if that interests you, go ahead over to the Kickstarter, back it, and if you've already backed it, back it again. And I will say this: I've been answering nonstop like customer service emails because we've just had some snafus with some fulfillment issues with the Reavers of Midgard game, where like the custom trays that were made for it were made out of like a too thin of a plastic, and so a lot of them should have cracked and broken.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, yeah. So
you didn't hire Noah, huh?
Well, no. I think that he's the guy who did it because they are game trays or whatever. TRAYZ. Yeah, but the manufacturer like made them too thin.
Yeah, that's
like took the mold and made it too thin, and this. But and before we knew it, we sent it all up to all of our U.S. backers before we realized that was the problem. And so we had to have them remake those trays, send them out to us, and now we're in the process of finally getting the replacement trays out to people. Yeah, it stinks, but the light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer.
Yeah, nothing you can do except put your nose down and just get through it.
Yeah, and
trays are the cheapest thing too. They're pennies.
Hey, do you any update on when the trays from BGG are going to be shipping?
In that case, who would you call it?
I still got those on pre-order.
Yeah, I mean, Noah went to China and they were sitting there, and we're like, "What? Like, why are those not on the boat? Like, what the fuck?" Working with these companies sometimes is it's just mind-scraping.
It's so tough.
Like, they're done. What do you want us to do with them? Yeah, ship them, please. Like, what I got to tell you to ship them?
What I found is like it's so tough is like just the whole process of the email and you even sometimes if you get a response right away, like it's not right. Like the response you get isn't
out there. He went out there to train people, and so there's some interesting language barriers. Obviously, a lot of the people don't speak any English. There's only a few. So the very skilled engineers don't speak English at all. That surprised me actually. So, they should be here soon, Pete. I'm sorry.
No worries. I was just asking. I figured other people may also want to know as well.
There's probably 1,000 customers.
Before you showed up, he was actually really tearing you.
He was bitching.
Yeah, I give Aldi all kinds of shit.
I heard everything.
Yeah, don't lie. Just let it out.
Well, you know what, Aldi? Like I said, I'm fine waiting anyway. You can just pack my trays in a copy of Aquatica and then ship it out to me.
That's right. Yeah, you're probably gonna get it. I need to get that out of my house, sir.
They still haven't even announced a U.S. release date yet, and they said at Essen,
smartphone is still not out.
Yeah, they even said at Essen that they were hoping to have it out in early 2020, and the fact that they haven't even announced anything yet means that they're not anywhere close to making a deal happen. So,
Rado's here.
So yeah. Oh, he said he wasn't coming on until later. Why is he here so early?
Well, it is later. It's 10:45. You were late.
Yeah, you're late.
No, he said he was going to be on at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard.
Rado, sorry, you got to go back and come back at 11 to appease Lance.
I said 9 o'clock PST.
Oh, sorry, and you're here early.
Yeah, I am early.
What is that you have in front of you there?
This is Aftermath, or a portion of Aftermath. Aftermath.
Cool.
Aftermath was study hall.
Yes, there you go.
See what I did there?
Your mic sounds good. Did you get a new mic?
I've had it for a while. It's it's a Blue Yeti. It's hanging just up there off camera. I think maybe see a little bit of it right there. Yeah,
see the tip.
It's got a rich.
Just the tip. So yeah, Scott. So yeah, you're like a legitimate business now.
Yeah, Scott. Okay, good. You're here. I guess nobody's talked about it yet without opening.
Man, you missed
WTF is with what do you need headquarters for? What is happening? This can't be cheap. Where is it? How much does it cost a month? Why did you do this? Now,
wow, damn, Aldi.
Besides the 20-year anniversary thing,
aren't you glad you came back?
Thank you for contributing to that, Richard. By the way, that was awesome. I did not know anything about that video. I knew nothing about that video.
Oh, really?
Lincoln just showed it. He's like, "Go here." I'm like, "Okay," and he was in my house, right? He was sitting right here, and I'm like I literally, I mean, there was tears in my eyes. It was so amazing.
Did I get the biggest laugh?
You got a good laugh.
Yes.
And then Rusty, who did the Max Headroom. One
yeah, that was
cracked me up because it was so max headroom. It was like spot on. And then of course the South Park is ridiculously
that's
cool.
crazy. So actually, yeah, how did Lincoln make that happen? He can just reach out to Trey Parker whenever he feels like it.
I guess so.
Hi, Barry.
He kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened or what was spoken or what was said, but it was there. It was, which is, I mean, it had to go through the pipeline, right?
Well, yeah. Well, he had to start by contacting somebody there.
Well, he knows Trey Parker now. Like they met at con.
Oh well, sure, yeah.
He's just, but they both live in LA, right? So I think there's been some.
Yeah, Trey was all around Gen Con.
Some game.
Even I met him.
You can't throw a rock without Trey Parker out on
serious gamer.
Boulevard.
He wants to be known as a serious gamer. Like he's into it big time. Big time.
Yep. I should announce I'm going to LA so that he'll contact me randomly and have me play games with him.
Are you going to LA? When?
No.
Oh, you should. We'll get you down there and get on the game night.
I would love to. Right. It would be a blast.
We'll make that happen.
But anyway, that's totally changing the subject. WTF with the world headquarters?
We outgrew.
How long has this been in the plan? How long?
Oh my God, years, like 2 years now, I think.
2 years. We talked to getting that particular place, or
no? I'll tell the story. I'll try to keep it quick. So we outgrew the hangar. We were in the hangar at Jeff Anderson's house, basically, which was around 3,000 square feet. We outgrew that 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So we're like, well, let's try to find something. And if you do a property.
And now, when you're talking about the hangar, you're just talking about literally storage for the game library.
And he moved his plane out, and he sold his plane.
But that's all you were using it for was storing games
and store.
Oh, and the store
products like bits, bowls, trays, all that stuff.
Was all the mailing for that done out of that random hangar?
Yeah. So I hired 3 people who worked out of their hangar. They would come over each day and work in the hangar, which had no climate control at all. It had no cooling. It had one of those really crappy in-wall air conditioning units. So in the summer, I would go out there and I'm like, oh my God, we got to move, right? Because just the torture of summer heat.
Before you lead to someone's death. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they kept the one room cool. So they worked in the one room and then they would go out to the hangar, but it's like 110 degrees. So we outgrew that. Like we were juggling space. Jeff was putting stuff in his garage of the house. We were moving stuff into storage units. Like the entire back catalog of BGG games were in a storage unit. So we just kept like outgrowing. And then, we'd shuffle stuff around, but give us a little time. And we're like, let's build a building. Because if you search around where they live is nothing. It's a bedroom community, right? Like there's just, it's just houses, right? And grocery stores. But we found a building. We did a search and we found land to build on. So we got the land.
What?
We were going to build the building.
You built that headquarters?
No. Let me finish.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Please continue.
But we were like, oh, we can do this. This is how hard is it to build a building? Well, it turns out it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
So we go down the path. We get plans for a building. We get it architected. We get plan. We get a guy to do not drywall. What is it called? Pavement.
Did you say you had already bought the land at this point?
The land was purchased. Yes.
Wow.
So we were going to use that as a collateral. Whatever. I don't need to get into all the details. But so,
have you seen this show? This is the show for all the detail. Where none of us are in any hurry.
I don't know what to say though. Anyway, so we were going to build a building, and we got started. We didn't actually break ground, but we're like literally ready to go.
Wow. How long ago was this?
When was it?
A year ago? 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. So December of 2018. We were like literally going to build, and we were waiting on a Texas Department of Transportation approval to build the off ramp. Because we were right on the highway. Right?
You were going to build a highway off ramp?
No, it's not like that. It's just when you go down a road and there's like a little turn into a place. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that?
They're called service roads, I think.
Well, we were on the service road, and there was like you need to build a road to get into your building, right? I mean, the parking lot. And the city was making us do all these crazy things. Like we had to make it really fancy. like all these really ridiculous like requirements, and we're like, I just got so sick of all the bureaucracy, and I'm like, screw it, let's just find a building already made, and we found one that was really close to Jeff's house, like 5 minutes away, and Jeff went over to the building and got shown it, along with like 10 other people. There were so many people that showed up. We put in our offer immediately, and later that day they told us we didn't get it. I'm like, okay, and
you put an offer in to buy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very underpriced. And so I'm trying to remember the details. Basically, they said the other offer that beat you had a shorter closing period. And I'm like, well, let's negotiate. Let's talk. Nothing. Dead silence. And the realtor was crushed, and we were all crushed because it was like perfect. It was a perfect size, perfect building, perfect location. And it's very rare to have buildings down near Midlothian come up for sale. So we started looking further north, basically in the Dallas area near the Redbird Airport, which is an airport you would never know of. And so we found another building there, and it was like, okay, it's not nice, but it's okay. It'll work. We started looking at it. We inspected it. Had asbestos. It had a bad roof. And so we were like, well, this is the only thing. And it had a loading dock. Loading docks are incredibly rare to find in Dallas. But it had a loading dock, and we're like, okay, we got to do it because we just don't have any space anymore.
The other building had a loading dock too?
It did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was perfect.
All right.
So once we started finding all the problems with the building, we started asking for extensions on the closing. This is so boring. But basically, in the second extension, we asked for an extension, then they asked us for an extension. In the second week of extensions, in the second to last day, our realtor calls us up and they're like, you got to check this building out. We're like, what did you find? We're like, because we were committed here. We're like, we're going to fix the roof. They were going to fix the roof, and the asbestos was not a problem.
Wow.
Unless you remodel, right? Like, you didn't need to, what do you call it? Remediation? Is that when you? No. So we went to this other building that the realtor found, and that's the building we end up with. And literally, Jeff comes over the house. He's like, "You're not going to like what I'm going to have to tell you." He goes, "We found a better building." And I'm like, "You're right. I don't want to, because we were already on the third thing, and I was so frustrated and couldn't figure it out."
And do you still own this land?
Maybe.
Okay.
So, it's not that expensive. So we,
hey, they're not making any more of it.
Yeah, that's what my dad says.
Mm-hmm.
It's a famous line from Superman.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Anyway,
right.
Go ahead.
So we went over to the building, and it was like, it's the one we have, and it was amazing, right? It's like nice offices. They had just finished remodeling it. It's these two guys that work for American Airlines. They're flight attendants, and they went to China. Their story is really cool. They went to China and found these. They were traveling in China, and they found these iron doors, which are really cool. And so they started bringing them in like little by little, and then they started selling them. And one of their first clients was like Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys guy. And then it just blew up. They just went viral, and they got into this Muslim community, and everybody recommends them to everybody. So they've got this booming business within 1 year. They bought that building, remodeled it, and immediately outgrew it.
Oh,
like
wow.
They're basically they were just like they couldn't fit. I think the building could hold like
this is iron doors.
Really nice iron doors, like very custom made with like lots of cool.
You mean like a front door iron door?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like a driveway gate iron door?
No, a door on your house.
Okay.
Yeah, with glass and if you look at the picture of the building, like or the video, you'll see all these nice iron doors. They deck the thing out with like.
Oh wow! Okay. I'll have to go back. I'm not paying attention to the doors. I have to admit in the video.
Exactly, and they were really really sweet. So they outgrew the building, put on the market. We went there first day, put in the offer, they accepted it, and done. We bailed on the other one. And then.
Did you have any problems getting out of the other one because you'd already committed?
No, because remember we extended the closing.
Oh right,
we extended.
And they extended the closing,
and then they extended the closing, and we just we got to go. Sorry, I mean we just said sorry, and they had a backup offer actually.
Okay, so. Yeah. They ended up having to do work they would have had to do anyway.
Buildings are a weird deal, and it's an interesting part of my life that I never thought I would have. But yeah, it's nice offices. It's got a shipping area. It's got a full big warehouse. It has 2 types of loading docks. It's been fully remodeled. Yeah.
Men and women.
One where a truck can like back up into the building, and then one's a dock level loading dock.
Okay.
Because we would always ask the shippers to bring the stuff with a ship gate or like the lift gates thing, because we didn't have a loading dock at the old, I want to say warehouse, but it was a hangar.
Right.
And they would 90% of the time not show up with one. That's something we've learned with shipping. No one listens to or reads anything.
Well, it's because that's
crazy.
what they do, and 99% of stuff they probably don't have to, read what you have listed.
Yeah, they don't care. A lot of times they would show up at my house because my address is the company, but like the building is where they should have taken it. So they show up with this giant semi, and they're like, "Where should we drop everything off?" And I'm like, "Not here." Like, oh my god! So many times I've had to like send them away. It's annoying.
With a big semi driving into your suburb.
Yeah. So we got the building in November.
Oh,
we moved in after BGGCon. Like we went from the hangar to BGGCon, and we came back from BGGCon to the building. So, and then we had to, of course, fix the whole interior with the racks, because their racks were meant to hold doors and not pallets, which was, converting racks and all that exciting stuff. But it's been great. Like, and we had the open house on Saturday. 100 people came. It's perfect for gaming. Like, we have the entire library there. Nice kitchen, a lot of nice like lounge areas and stuff. It's swanky.
How far away is it from your home?
From my house, 20 minutes. 20.
And from Jeff?
Oh, that's not bad.
25.
And are you and Jeff the only what we would consider regular BGG employees who use this building?
No. There's more people who work that you probably won't ever meet because they're not gamers. They just do all the shipping.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, that's why I kind of meant, BGG family as opposed to folks you hired to do, temp. I'm sure they're lovely too. But so this building is for the store shippers that you have working for you.
5 people.
And you and Jeff.
Yeah. Although I don't really go in there that often. I mean, I'm a desk jockey. I don't need to go to the building.
That's the thing. When I had no idea this was happening, and then what was it? Rob.
2.5 years.
Oh, by the way, look, here's where we are. Well, there was that picture of all of you standing in front of that sign. I thought, wow, that's a really nice sign. What are you gonna do with that sign after your meeting in a hotel or wherever you guys are having your?
We did the meetings in the building.
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't realize at the time, and then Rob says, "Oh, by the way, I'm at the thing, and I never heard of this before." Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like the first year where I really feel like a real company. I mean, we had a retreat with 20 people, 20, and the building is there, and it was pretty cool. Made me feel good. And we passed our 20-year anniversary, so it's all
perfectly timed celebration. Yeah. How many people are working in that building on an average daily basis?
5.
Yes. Jeff and 4.
Jeff and actually it's 4 people. It's Joni, Cindy, Christine, and Jeff.
Okay.
And then we have. Do we have someone else coming in? I can't remember. No, that's it.
Okay. And do you have plans for more people working in that building?
I mean, if we sell more stuff.
But I mean that would be. I mean, you are not slowly inching towards, actually like recreating what you and I came from, an actual software development house. All the engineers work together with the designers. You are not going that route.
No, I don't think.
This is not a first step.
That can't work. I mean,
you're not going to have everybody working out of that office. They're too spread out.
Every single employee lives in a different state.
Yeah.
That's like, there's no. And it was really, really great to have everybody in one room. That was like amazing. Like, I couldn't believe how.
Well,
it changes the feeling. Like, you could do hangouts and stuff, right? But like when all 20 people are in the building and you're like,
oh, that's
what do we have to do? Like this.
Board Game Geeks updates would come much more regularly if you and Jeff and the rest of your coding team and the designer that you hire and whatnot were all in the same building for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
But that is not the plan. That is not the roadmap. You don't have some of your coders out in South Dakota thinking, "Oh my gosh, do I have to move now? Is this what's going to happen in a year?" Because Aldi's got the taste. He had us all in a room.
But here's the deal: like, we got all the ideas out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the productivity, like with the coders and stuff, like they're online all day long. I can see the messages flying back and forth. They're doing screen shares and
yeah, totally.
They're like doing pair programming, and like I don't know if being in the same building would make a difference.
So more or less, you're just going to use this building for like a once or twice a year powwow to brainstorm, have big meetings, all that, and then send everyone back home and then be productive.
Yeah, I mean, the building is really to store all the stuff. Like we have a lot of stuff. We have like 500 products. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Paul Tompkins has just submitted his resume in the chat, by the way.
Okay.
In case you'd like a full-time manager of the building.
That's kind of what Jeff and Christine do.
Ah!
Yeah.
Paul Tompkins is coming for you, Jeff and Christine. Watch out.
I'm gunning for you. Someone actually told me, one of my two friends, they're like, you should charge money to rent it out.
Yeah.
Very high end. And I'm like, would people pay for that?
Rent it out for what, though?
Like a weekend. Like you could come game there for a weekend.
Oh.
Would people be? I don't know. I wouldn't do it myself, so I don't know. Like, it's hard to-
what's it? Dice Tower does
The retreat.
has their East and their West conventions, but then they also have that much more exclusive. Hey, you know what? Only 200 people are going to come, and they do that one. I forget what they call it.
They call it the retreat, the Dice Tower retreat.
The Dice Tower retreat. You can, and that is very successful. You could totally do that.
You could have 10 golden tickets that you either sell or have as a prize for attending BGG related conventions. And those tickets grant them like week access to like a gaming retreat at BGG headquarters.
Yeah.
Use this marketing, man.
For yourself.
Market the hell out of that shit.
I would rather, me personally, I would rather be in a hotel, but I don't know.
You'd rather what?
Be in a hotel.
Well, have you been to the Dice Tower retreat?
No. I assume they hold them in hotels.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
But I mean, because where would you lodge people? Like you can't really stay in the building. I mean, we do have a shower in this building, but it is not. That's one shower.
Wow. Okay.
No, it's exciting times. Lots of change.
So what are you going to do with that land?
I'll tell you offline.
It's going to be his weed farm. Forrest is going to work for him.
So Harley Davidson was interested at one point.
In what?
The land.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna hold it still. Harley
It's an
Davidson
investment in the future.
Well,
It's retirement plan.
I mean, it wasn't crazy expensive, but it was like it's not worth. And it's like I can sell it if I need to, but I'd rather keep it because it's in a massively growing city.
Right. It's got a good location.
Its value will be better in 10 years than what you could get for it right now.
It's a great location.
All right. Yeah, it just needs a fancy off-ramp, and then it's golden.
So it was supposed to be a 6-week turnaround for Texas State DOT, Department of Transportation. It was 6 months, and we hadn't heard anything. And we were bugging them weekly for 6 months. This is the fucked up bureaucracy is. Now, buildings are going up left and right all the time in this area. Like, why are they getting it? Why are they getting their approvals?
They know which palms to grease.
Is that the word?
They don't want no monopoly on DOT. They want real cash.
I don't know. It's just really weird. And we were like a tiny project. I mean, had to be the smallest. They don't make sure to move the headstones. They move the headstones.
You didn't move the bodies, you bastard.
It was kind of crazy. Like they're like, you have to cover the 3/4 of the outside with masonry. You have to have this landscaping. I'm like, fuck. I just want a building to put stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it?
Want a big box to put all your little boxes in.
Exactly. But I'm kind of glad that didn't happen.
So is Jeff going to be parking his ass in there every day, or is he still going to mostly work?
He basically said that's his new office, so he just drives in every day.
Okay.
It's got a full-on security system coming out, so I can see them all working.
Oh, really?
It's got like 30 cameras, some craziness.
Well, you got to live stream those on the site.
Yeah, they're real boring though.
People would sit and watch. That's how sad it is. That people would sit and watch them packing boxes all day. Oh, is that my order? Is that my order?
Yeah.
You should charge it, make it a streaming service like Pornhub, BGG Hub. I mean, just like people will pay to watch girls box bits.
God.
Monetize that shit, Aldi. Come on.
Girls boxing bits.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's going to hit some hits, I think.
Telling you.
You better get that URL right now before it's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we talking
and
about?
we'll all say we knew Scott before.
Yep, we did.
Before
Hey,
he-
well, Antoine, you haven't checked in a
before
while.
he
What's
bankrupted himself
now that
and-
he has the building? The worth of BGG has to have climbed considerably with the
Mm.
location of the building.
Well, if anybody's taken that into account, it's worthofweb.com.
Worth it. Let's find out.
We hit 100,000. I'm gonna stop bragging now. 100,000 subscribers on YouTube too. I'm done now. I'm done.
Oh, come on. You got one more in you. There's got to be something else.
Yeah, fuck you with your 100,000.
You're gonna get it. You're right on the cusp.
Fuck you. I've been doing this twice as long as you.
No, no, you haven't. Have you?
Yeah,
Or,
I'm coming up on my 10th year.
At YouTube, yeah. He's been around a lot longer in YouTube.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
10 years, Rado?
10 years.
Wow.
No,
That's
not quite 10 years. I think I'm on my 8th year. I think.
How many years have you been at this, Lance?
Longer.
Longer than that?
I started like a year before me. I think
Year
6
11.
months, something like that.
15?
You hadn't been going much longer than me, I don't think.
I started like 11 years ago
Oh, well, okay, yeah. All right, well, then 3 years is not nothing.
Mm-hmm.
because I suck.
The new branding is awesome.
Thanks, man.
It is.
You didn't do
Hey,
it. You didn't-
Like a very, very wise person who was I was on this podcast. He said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." So just be proud of what you
yeah.
succeed at, because
No,
if you
I mean,
no, I was saying that to Rado.
Yeah, I know. I'm not really bothered. I'm happy for Aldi, but it's been taunting.
Oh, I'm
me.
not.
I've been at 90 for it feels like a few years now.
really?
Like
You're not-
89, 90. Yeah, I mean my growth has slowed significantly compared to what it used to be, and I should be. Hey, everybody, like and subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell.
It's
But
weird
I
because
can't bring myself to do it.
when I started following you, you were in the 40s, and that didn't seem like it was that long ago. So I thought your growth was actually doing really well.
So I remember when I was considering, I remember I asked the question like, should I say, if you like the video, hit the button. If you make sure you subscribe to see my
Right.
new videos.
If it
I
happens-
had all these people that said it's a call to action. If you don't do it, people will they'll hear it and they'll just do it. So you should do it every single time. And then Jim Philly, obviously a member of the Boom, he said, you got this far without doing it.
Richard,
It's like, so why don't you just be happy with what you have? Don't be a whore.
you got 1,000 subscribers in the last 30 days.
I have to admit, I'm complaining. I have no idea what I actually get. I generally don't follow my stats at all.
Yeah, you're getting about, what does it say? 100 subscribers every 4 days.
That doesn't seem like much, or is that a lot? I don't know.
That's a lot.
A lot.
80 million is what your BoardGameGeek.com is worth right
You're
now.
gonna hit 100,000 this year.
Yep. You're
Mm.
trending to hit it by
Months.
probably fall.
And then you'll get that little plaque.
Apparently, it takes years for that plaque to show up.
213 days. By the way,
Steve Shives just talked about it the other day that he hit his 100,000, and it's been months, and he hasn't heard hide nor hair of it.
Who has?
Steve Shives,
Oh, Steve Shives.
the
Gotcha.
guy you turned me on to. That I now religiously.
August 23rd is your day.
Huh?
August 23rd is your 100,000 day.
Shives, that guy caught fire like 3 months ago. That's when he like started hitting everybody's suggested videos. That's how I found him. And I didn't even get into his politics stuff. I thought his Star Trek stuff was just great. So
Yeah. Well, he'd been doing that politics stuff and that religion stuff for years. And he finally realized, I should just double down on the pop culture.
Because nobody wants to hear about how they're wrong.
If you, I mean, I don't know if you want suggestions, but I can think of some stuff.
Would the suggestions be to remind everybody to please
No.
bash that bell and be sure to like and subscribe and
Ding his
check out my
dong.
Patreon and this and that and the other?
No, I don't know if that would necessarily do anything. I mean, does that actually work? I don't know.
It must. I could certainly see why it does. Because it just it puts it in people's minds, and some small percentage of people who otherwise would not have will just why not?
Some people are just sheep. You tell them to do something, they just do it.
They just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or they actually
like,
watch 3 or 4 of my videos and they realize, maybe I should subscribe. Thanks for reminding me, Rado. Yes, I will hit that button that's right there.
Most of our views, though, are from non-subscribers.
What are my? I have no idea.
Yeah.
How do you know that? I assume.
What is this? What is this? Determine what your stats are a day on Boom.
Interesting.
Alrighty. Where are my stats?
Um,
Go to my channel. Subtitles, comments, analytics.
Analytics is what you want. It might be on the first page, actually.
And then I need audience.
So hey, if Barry keeps popping in and out, but so hey,
Are you okay? Popping in and out.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot that I had backed this game on and I just forgot totally about it, and then it just showed up like about 2 hours ago. It was like what?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No,
I got mine today.
So it was it was a game that was about like how people there's people that create things, like and then people either they make things or whatever, and it was about the game was I guess it was it was a board game, and so it was about stopping people. It was about killing the people that create things. I'd never heard of it before, so I got Die Maker. It's a light game. I hear you can play it in about 30 minutes.
5 hours.
It looks a little like Parcheesi on the back. I think this will be easy to
I thought that
into.
was a game about making dice.
Well, that's also good. So I can't wait. So there you go. Die Maker.
You ever play it?
Democker? Yes, I have. I have the Valley Games version, but I guess this one supposedly has like a slightly more streamlined rule set. So
I'll have to give it a try. I played it once, and it was 20 years ago.
So,
and I really liked it. I mean, it's a really neat system.
Two things I wanted to. Oh yeah, and yes, I did get your Gross Point Blade. 10 years, man. 10 years.
Yeah.
Wonderfully Jeremy Piven, a wonderfully underutilized in that movie, but he chewed the scenery.
Oh yeah,
in a spot. Oh, and then when he helps get rid of the body, and it's just and then he goes whatever his name is, Bob Johnson. What the fuck have you been up to, Marty? Just after they throw the body. Apparently, the furnace in a school is set at 7,000 degrees because they throw his body.
That's got to have one of my favorite movie fight scenes of all time. The fight outside the lockers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so swift and brutal, and it feels really real.
Yeah.
I've always loved that, too. I mean,
tells the guy, thanks for the pen. When he knocks back in. Oh, by the way, thanks for the pen.
I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
It's definitely rewatchable.
Interesting factoid about that guy that he has the fight with, that he stabs to death with the pen. I can't think of the actor's name right now. The main actor's name, who played John Cusack. So he was actually fairly into martial arts, but they needed to kind of goose it and so it would be more reputable. That guy was the martial arts trainer they brought in to get him to do it more. And I guess they became really good friends, but the guy was just brutal, like very like constantly like would like like when in their practices like John Cusack would go back and you'd just be sore and be black and blue all over. And so then when there was like he was like, I want to kill him. It was just like, and so then that's why that guy had that role. As long as I get to kill him, that's fine. Put him in the spot. No, what was I gonna say? Dang
You need to make a list of Hitman movies.
Oh, yeah, I'll think about that for a second. No, so there was a thread where somebody said, and this is I'll give you my take on it, and then I want everybody else's take. They were like saying there seems to be a growing trend of Kickstarters, the game itself being Kickstarter exclusive, meaning that like they aren't going to go through retail. This is, and it seems to be like Foundations of Rome, Arcane Wonders, is going to be. They're going to sell it at conventions, but if you want to guarantee yourself a copy, you have to back it.
I don't know why anybody does anything different, quite frankly.
So, but the thing is that people, the concern people have is that, one, it's tough to stay up to date on every single board game that comes out. So you might play that game a year from now and be like, oh, cool, where can I get this? Oh, you can't unless you pay double the price on eBay. Well, that really fucking sucks. And then the other thing is that like it's preying upon the FOMO that people have, and it's kind of like giving them this weird call to action to get stuff that they don't maybe don't really want, but they feel, but maybe I will want it, so I better make sure I get it.
Yeah.
And also because it's on Kickstarter, it's like, oh, it's like I really want this game 9 months from now, so I'm going to give you $100 right now, and so I can see that point. My take on it is this, and it's a bit of a curmudgeon, is that there are literally like thousands of new games every year.
Just go down to your local game store and get something that's there.
Yeah, the vast majority of those games I'm never going to find out about. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I went to my local game store and I saw these guys playing this game, and it was a GMT game that came out a year or two ago. It was like Crisis in the Time of Rome or something like that. And it was this super involved, multiple player, like basically during the fall of the Roman Empire, all of them, and it was even a deck builder. And I was just totally intrigued by the game. And then I sat down and played it, and it was freaking phenomenal. I was like, how did I miss out on this game? And then I actually looked and I saw like all of my like people that like Clay Ross, Joel Eddy, people are like saying this was like one of the best games that came out that year. And I was like, how did I miss this game? I mean, I was like, it just hit on all cylinders for me as far as like tension and like it was a long game. It was a very thinky game. It was just
probably a P500 game. That's probably why you missed it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I usually when there's like, because that game is like it fit every single slot of a game that I look for. So now it's part of my collection. And it will be for a long time. Robert Burdick, goddamn Joe. Time of Crisis, Kyle Seeley just said, yes. And so and there's even an expansion for it, which I picked up, which was nice. But anyway, my point is that like games like that are going to come out that are going to be freaking amazing, and I'm never going to find out about them. The vast majority, I'm just never going to know about. I'm never going to play it. How am I missing out?
You stopped consuming a long time ago. You told me.
Well, yeah.
So you're going to miss out if you don't keep consuming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, the thing is that as long as like, but because like it wasn't until like it's just a happenstance of me seeing that game. I mean, like, okay, and Pete's gonna think I'm making fun of him here, but I'm not trying to make fun of him. He has a thing where he's like, if a board game's got a shark in it, I want to own it, and so he's trying to track down this game of Aquatica. I'm gonna guess that Pete rarely plays most of the games that have the shark in it. He might play them once, he might not play them at all. Incorrect. I don't know for sure. Well,
that's incorrect.
You play every single one of them multiple times?
I play the games that I have that predominantly feature sharks get more play time than the games that don't, on average.
Pete,
I played Jaws 20 times already.
Well, yeah, Jaws was the best game that came out last year. So
Pete, if you want to pay the shipping, I'll just send you my copy of Aquatica. just sorry to change the subject on Lance, but just I've meant to say this several times, and I keep forgetting. I like it a lot. I'm happy to own it, but I full well know I will never play it again.
Really? You didn't like it that?
99% of everything around me, I will never play again. At least not until Rahdo Runs Through is done.
Huh.
Because I just fundamentally can't. I've played this 3 times, and I'm going to film it, and then
you're done. You don't have time.
Doesn't matter
to
how
play
much
it again.
time I play. I got to move on to the next thing. So if you're jonesing for it that bad, it's yours. If you just want to pay whatever it'll be, $15 in shipping, $12, I don't know what, something like that.
I may take you up on that.
All right, well, you know where I am.
Yep.
So,
Well, here's to sum up.
Sorry, continue that.
To sum up is just that, like the like complaint that like, oh, I won't be able to pick up this game later, I think is complete and total garbage, because it's just like, how many freaking games come out that you don't even know about?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that there's this game with a bunch of cool little buildings and whatever, and you're like, oh, I really want that, and it's just like, okay, and that's it. I'm not trying. I said that wrong because it made me sound like I'm making fun of them, because I definitely have seen something. I'm like, oh, I really want that, like as soon as I see it, and then I'll purchase said thing, but where I'm going to is just like, I think people have to break out of that consume thing, and that like kind of feeds to the whole idea that I had a long talk with my boss today where we talked about how and this is something awful, but I mean the thing is that Kickstart is a really, really good way to get people to own your game, because it's otherwise it's almost like if you just publish a game and spit it out into the world, you have to do so much effort to like get people to know about that game, get people to get excited about that game.
Unless it's a big IP, you have to do a lot of work.
But I mean, or if it's like, I'll buy everything the Matthias Kramer comes out or something. Like it's like maybe you have something like that.
Well, it's a Marvel game, and everyone you got a built-in fan base that's just going to buy it regardless.
If it's just generic Euro being spit out into the universe, like you can't. Especially if you're not a Z-Man or whatever, you can't just flat out expect that you're going to sell 2,000 copies of that. But go on Kickstarter, put some cool little like cubes or animeeples or something as like an exclusive item, and all of a sudden, boom, you sold 2,000 copies because people are like, oh, I really want that, and I want the exclusive edition. So my full circle here is that it's just like I feel like I understand the exclusivity, but I do think that people need to just realize you can't own every board game, and you also need to realize that and it's okay not to own them.
You don't read every novel. You don't watch every TV show. You don't go to every movie. You don't have to own every board game either. You have no expectations of seeing all 50,000 movies that come out every year. I mean, why? What is driving these geeks? It just doesn't matter. Easy for me to say because I get every board game sent to me.
But, well, I was just gonna say it's harder for us because a lot of us get a lot of stuff.
Lance knows full well. I say no 9 out of 10 times. I've said no to Lance so many times. I said no to him just a week ago again as he tried to send me something else. So I'm really picky. But still.
But what's your point, Lance? Like, what are you saying?
My point is that I think that people talk about like the bubble bursting of the board game universe, or this like little crisis point. And I think the problem most of us have is, and I do want to know if you think that things should be sold through Kickstarter as exclusives. I mean, but
yeah, that was the original.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that
the industry that we're moving in that direction.
Yes, and also, but bottom line is, and also, I fully understand that as cool as we think it is that we think the board game universe is expanding, the the uber geeks, the ultra geeks like us, who own hundreds of board games and talk about board games, and board games are our lives.
Yeah.
We are still a very, very small percentage. I go to like I go to a friend's lake cabin, and it's like, oh look, you have like Pandemic, Azul, and what's that game with the poker chips? I can't even think of the name of it right now. Splendor. Yeah, and they just have that because they played them once at somebody's house, and they were like, I really want that, and then they bought it, and now it's at their lake cabin, and it's just the game everybody knows the rules to, and they sit down and play. They have no desire to go to Board Game Geek and dive fully into the hobby. They've bought their 3 games they played once and they thought was cool, and that's fine with them.
Well, that's just like back in the day when we were kids, where everyone had a copy of Monopoly, Sorry, and Life, and everyone would go.
Had that shelf in a closet, and there were 5 or 6 games, and they were the same in every house in America.
Yep, pretty much.
And that's still normal for the vast majority of people who get modern board games.
Yep, except now those 5 games are a little different. Yep. Maybe not even. I know a lot of people that I've walked into their house and I see a copy of Clue sitting on a shelf somewhere. I'm like, oh, you play board games? Oh yeah, I've got that. I've got Pit. I've got Monopoly, and that's it.
Yeah.
I love the scene in, speaking of movies, almost a total throwaway scene in the Royal Tenenbaums, where who's his face? Gene Hackman, the father, gets pulled into the closet with his son because his son's got a problem with it, and he pulls him into their game closet of this house that they have, and it's just this little tiny 3x3 room, and it's like a great movie to pause it right there and look at all the old school big flat long box board games they have up and down the other rows, and his son's sitting there screaming at him what a piece of crap he thinks he is. And Gene Hackman's just like, oh my God, I haven't been in this room in ages. And he's just like looking around and like marveling at all the cool like old games. And then like I remember pausing it all the time and like looking at that stuff. And I guess those games were actually those were the games that the director himself owned, and he brought them all and they set them up in that room. But anyway,
so I know why Kickstarter exclusives are happening more and more.
You want to know why, or
I know why. It's easy.
Well, it's a no-brainer. It's stupid not to do it.
As a company, as a publisher, which I'm not, I've invested in this methodology of figuring out production, distribution, and fulfillment, or whatever. Not distribution, but production, shipping, fulfillment, and taking the money through a system called Kickstarter. Why do I need to make any other games?
Yeah,
stores where I'm only getting paid half as much. To me, it's a no-brainer, like you said.
Well, why do you think all those companies, like all those distribution channels now, are like trying to lock people into exclusive deals?
They see the writing on the wall.
They're not dumb.
I mean, I have an idea that I don't know if I want to talk about right now, but if it ever comes to fruition, it will drastically change the board game world.
You have mentioned this before.
Myself. No, it's simple. Why? I mean, it's basically an Amazon model. Why do you need to sell anything in stores? Because
while Kickstarter is still a very viable and large chunk of a company's profits, and I'll still say this, that as big as some of Kaman's Kickstarters have been, we've sold twice as many copies through distribution.
There's exceptions, of course, right? But if I'm a publisher who sells 2,000 games, why do I want to take a 500?
Sure. Now there's obviously much different levels. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, Ryan Lockett doesn't need to chase after Simon success.
No, absolutely not. He's a perfect example of he could just do Kickstarter exclusive, and Stonemaier could probably also have done that same model with since they don't pump out a ton of games, just do really good ones and just go straight Kickstarter exclusive. They could probably pull it off too.
Or just mail order. I mean, you don't need Kickstarter. I mean, after the 30 days is up, you just sell direct.
Well, Stonemaier sort of does a hybrid of it because he'll do Kickstarter and then he'll do the first print run. Half of it's on his web store and the other half goes to distribution. So he's slowly getting a 50-50 blend. He's getting a good chunk of profit from his initial wave, and distribution sells out within seconds because he only gives them a small portion of that initial wave. So he's kind of working both systems, but he's still got a good, a good chunk.
I remember Tim Fowers a few years ago, paperback, Real Bros. He's all in on the screw all the traditional models. You can totally run this boutique out of your home, and be successful. I know he was trying to organize a league of indie developers who would all lean on each other and all that. I don't know if he ever got anywhere with it, but I know
I heard anything about it, so I'm guessing not.
Yeah. Yeah, but
it's risky though, because the first time you have a flop and don't fund, company has a potential to go under because you're not going to have enough time to get another game ready in the pipeline.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the problem with that model, is that if you have one or two consecutive non-successes, you're sunk.
Aldi, girly gamer who lives in New Zealand is going to be in LA and wants to know. She wants to go geek out with Lincoln and Co.
Oh, when?
Soon, apparently.
Denied. Sorry.
Unfortunately, it's too bad. He's going to Nuremberg in a couple days.
Oh no!
Nerf, when are you coming into town?
I think she just said she had to go to work.
She's behind you right now.
Nerf will watch this later. What is the means by which she can send you an email or perhaps a geek mail?
Aldi@boardgamegeek.com or write to Lincoln at boardgamegeek.com.
Lincoln at boardgamegeek.com. You just shared it with all the world. Unleash the spammers.
Not a hard email.
Dick pics for everybody.
Oh my God. Has anybody got it their spam folder Gmail lately? I get a spam I get it one spam one spam a second. I mean,
my Gmail I hardly ever use though, so I don't get a lot of traffic through it.
Okay, just me then. I'll see the timestamp. It'll say 2:15 p.m. and it'll 2:15.
I haven't cleaned my spam mail and Gmail out in years, and I'm looking at 8 emails that are in there.
Oh wow, I have thousands.
Yeah, well, yours is probably much more used than mine. Mine's a secondary email.
Bauer would like to get in.
I bet he would.
The Bauer. I think I'm part of the Yang Gang, actually. That should be interesting.
What?
Conversation. I took the Washington Post test. Have you guys done that?
Yes, cool. And I sadly became a Yang. I was a Yang guy too, but I was so I went back and changed my thing. and they said I should vote for Trump after I changed everything.
Oh. Jill and I took the test last night. She shocked me with some of her answers. I'm like, "Who are you?" She's like, "Okay."
I used to get things and I love my wife dearly, but she just doesn't. News is always bad news. So she's like, I don't like reading the news, and so something catastrophic would happen. I was like, crazy stuff down in Texas, huh? And she's like, what? And I just be like, oh yeah, I forget you don't watch the news. So she just, and I would just be like, oh well, okay, But yeah, no, yeah, that's good though. She's still surprising you after all these years.
In a weird way. Yeah. I was surprised how conservative her answers were, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the wild and crazy lady that she is normally.
I'm not gonna say what, but it was like, what? You did what? She would come up with an answer where it says no Democratic candidates agree with this answer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Wow.
Everybody's different.
Yep, everybody's different.
No, they're not. We're all the same.
We're all the same.
That's why
I love board games.
Don't challenge me.
Yeah.
Can I talk about a game? Because I am just filled with negative energy right now.
For games?
For a particular game.
I want to games. Talk about good games. I want more good games. Oh, I played Ecos. It's awesome, by the way.
Ecos is awesome. Thanks for tagging me in the picture. I appreciate that.
Shark token.
Yeah, it was my good side.
All right, go for it. What do you got?
What do you got, Forrest? Bring us down.
Does anyone play City Skylines?
No, I actually was considering getting it because I like the PC game, but I did not buy it.
City Skylines is in my top 10 games of last year.
I liked it a lot.
What?
It is phenomenal.
Ooh, I feel conflict coming in our future. The dark side is with Forrest. Let's hear this.
Let me ask you first, Forrest.
You play it correctly.
Did you follow the very, very unfortunate rules and play it the way they say, well, hey, play with all the good stuff turned off, play through 5 games, and then you can play with all the stuff turned off?
We mixed it all in.
You went straight to the end. All right.
Straight to the end. We had the rules. We had the blue buildings, the blue special ones. And the rules, the rules were pissed. They weren't god awful, but we just shot a video.
There's some issues. There's some
Me and
issues.
Lucy did where this was the story. Literally, I read the rules, and then I was like, okay, this is going to be easy to teach because it's a pretty straightforward game. Yeah. We get down, we set it up, we played bus first. Everybody's jonesing. Bus was good. We're like, yeah, it's going to be good too. We're excited. And it ended up with someone else taking the rules from me and 2 people pulling up the PDF on their phone as 3 people tried to figure out the rules after I had already read the rules essentially twice. And then it just went downhill from there.
What was the problem?
We weren't it felt like there should have been restrictions on where things could get played. We didn't quite understand the one situational rule where it was about medical facilities and how medical facilities had to touch, but only in round 1, only when using level 1 cards or something, and just things added up, and no one was having fun. We ended up playing through a whole game. Our city just burnt to the ground. It just felt incredibly random, and it didn't feel like there was the synergy that I really wanted from the game.
Yeah,
we had an issue with
because it's super synergistic. I mean, that's its synergy.
I mean, here's the thing. I could see how you couldn't get anything to work, right? Because it's all timing, right? I need to build this to make this trigger and that to this trigger, right?
And I should say, I've only played as a 2-player game, where, of course, you're going to have a lot more control over what's going on because there's just one other hand of cards. There is one, to your point about the rules, there is one hugely big mistake in the rules that, literally just lies to you and tells you to play the game wrong. And that was the centerpiece of why Tom Vassell ripped it apart, because he complained about this one thing. And then he's like, yeah, you're playing it wrong because the rules are literally misworded. So I don't know which is at the end of I forget what they're called, not millenniums or eras or whatever.
Milestones for some stupid reason.
At the end of an era or what have you, your main scoreboard, the vertical one, is not supposed to reset.
That was the question I had too.
Yeah, because of the way the way it's worded, you have no choice but to believe it is, and that makes the game crazy hard.
Yeah,
if you play that,
score 30 points in the final round just to do. We actually missed that rule. All 3 of us apparently. So good, we missed that rule.
Yeah, that would make it impossible.
Yeah, the rules say at the end of the era or whatever it is, transfer your points from your temporary thing to your permanent thing. And transfer means, right, okay, I take them out of this pool and put them over here, and then I have to reset, but you don't. And yeah, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would be crazy hard to have a good showing if you actually do what it says.
Okay, so here's my question.
Yes.
The synergy, I didn't feel it, and I understand. But my big issue with the game was that I don't mind randomness in games. I don't mind not knowing what's going to be the next card coming up. I like that. I don't mind that at all. But only if I can offset the randomness with something that I can personally do. And I didn't feel like the game gave me tools to offset the randomness. We were we need to get a force. We need to get a force. We need to get a force. We got to get rid of crime. We got to get rid of crime. We got to get rid of crime.
You can pay money to
get those cards. We had to spend money. And if we don't have the money, we can't do any of that.
Yeah.
So what is there something that I'm missing there? Or was that just a bad luck of the draw that we weren't getting good cards?
Maybe that's possible. We played it 3 times. And we actually found it to be really easy. And I was surprised. I know the designer, Rustin, he posted on Board Game, man, I can't wait to see people playing. It's going to be a long time before somebody gets 60. And we're like, our first game, we almost made 55 points. And he's like, really? How is that possible? And it's like, your game's not that hard. So one huge, although again, I can only
timing comes up right.
As a 4-player with those cards split up more, maybe that's going to be an issue. But certainly what we found is the most central strategic thing you must do is, and you're right, you have to pay money to do it, is at the right time, put cards in the queue, specifically so your teammate can pick them up. Because I've got the card that if you could play it, would make us an extra $300. But it's in my hand. That's bad luck. Okay, then we'll spend $100 for me to put it in I forget what it's called. The equivalent of a discard pile.
Yeah, they have some weird wonky words.
On your turn, when you're drawing new cards, you can draw blind from any of the stacks, or you can draw from the discard pile.
Oh, that's one thing we did not do. We didn't.
Without that, the game, it would be impossible. It'd be another impossible thing.
We never thought to draw that top card right there.
Yep.
But we also, but you're still, you got to spend $2. I'm going to play it solo again. This was just an initial impression, but it went poorly. Like for our group, it just went poorly, and I just it's one of those games where I don't have a desire to play it again, but I am going to play it solo again, and hopefully. Well,
a lot of people really like it solo too, actually.
Well, hopefully that will be me.
Yeah, but that would have been your big problem. Is that is your method, and you're right. The rules don't make a big deal out of it. I mean, it's something you kind of have to almost figure out yourself. Because why would I ever do this? Why would I pay money? I mean, because the way that it's described in the rules, it sounds like yes, I have to pay money just to stall because we can't get the good card. Right? Okay, well, I'm just gonna get this out of the way because I don't want to play any of the stuff I do have. And you feel like, okay, this is, and you're punishing me for being in a bad situation when in fact it's a proactive thing. I pay the money to put it in the queue so that you can take it for us. And because you're the lawyer, when you play this thing, it'll be a big boon for everybody. That's central. And the rules, I don't think they misspeak about it, but they don't make it clear that that's the real function of that discard pile.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had all four of us read the rules by ourselves, and I read it 2 times, and we went back to it a couple times, and we missed that.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, and of course, it's going to be hard to get them back to the table now, understandably.
Yeah. Oh, no, they don't want to play that shit again.
Yeah, see, I'd still like to try the game, but I guess the best thing to do now would be wait to get good video. You did an instructional on this one already?
I did a run-through that I think did a
So it'll be a little easier for me because I won't have to read the rule book. I can just skip it.
Obviously, I don't do actual rules breakdowns.
I will say, Pete, that is the one really good thing I talked about it. They got a QR code that makes you download the Cosmos app, which you're like, this sucks. But it's actually a really good video. It has 3D animated, it shows you putting pieces down. I'll pull it up right now and show you. It's really
well. Apparently, it wasn't good enough because it didn't save you.
Here's the thing. I didn't
miss the transfer
because I wanted to get the honest opinion of the rule booklet. I tried never to get Western played for the first time. I always
they were all stoned, so it really didn't matter. Nothing was going to save them.
They all had contact highs, so there was that.
There was the buzz. The city was filled with smog.
When you get high off of somebody else's smoke, I believe that's a contact high, isn't it?
No, but I'm just saying that they all were doing it. They were.
Fair enough.
The city skyline was covered in clouds of pops.
It's pretty difficult unless you're in a vehicle or something like that, a small enclosed area.
Yeah, it's called hot box.
Thank you. I was just making sure because I don't really know anything about drug culture, and I was like, "Oh, look, I'm being smart. I'm using a real proper term." And then you made me doubt myself.
Way to go, Forrest. Jerk.
It was Lance. Lance is
it was probably me.
Discord and
anybody all the cats yet?
Where is it? Not stupid camera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's really
it's all animated and stuff, and you can skip it. It's actually really well done. But I always just try and read the rules first because most people are just going to read the rules. They're not going to go to a video a lot of the time. So I want to get that opinion.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to have the Tom Vassell myth thing where the developers flew to his house to play the game.
Really surprised.
And then he raved about how great the game is. And it's so easy to learn. Yes, it is. If the flies to your house and teaches you in person.
So that game, the people that backed it, like me, that backed it and got all of the thing. They actually have a prognosis of getting all of the modules and extra expansions that everybody backed for and all the miniatures and everything like that. They're talking about late 2020. We'll all get our stuff.
Wow.
Will you ever play that game?
What? I hope so.
I will get it and I will take all the miniatures out because the miniatures are actually pretty good. And I'll because they're also 25 millimeter miniatures, which you wouldn't think it would matter, but for my D&D games, I use 25 millimeter miniatures, and 28 millimeter miniatures are too big. If you have it sounds super dumb, but and here's this other, and there's a 28 millimeter miniature, and it's just when you stand it next to the other one, it's it doesn't look right. It's it actually bothers me. So so since all the orcs in that are all 25 millimeter there, and it's just so that's really nice to have, just a bunch of things like that. Anyway, so that's why I'll get all the minis. I'll never play the game. I'll probably throw everything else away, and but I'll have the minis.
Yeah,
Yay!
they were good minis. They were really cool,
They were.
and it was a cool system too. But man, that rule book.
That rule book was
They should have made a.
absolutely hideous.
That had to be one of the worst ever. I mean,
And I feel bad because Brian Schotten, the one of the two owners of that company, their preceding game, the squad based Mercs game, which was like a really good game. It was like the rules were very straightforward and the minis were awesome. And then they decided, oh, we're gonna make a fantasy game, and I was just like, why didn't you just take those rules and just no, we're gonna make a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh yeah, that rule book was hideous. It was just like it referenced rules on the second page that you didn't learn until like page 11, and it was just I just remember thinking this is horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible.
and it tricked me into making me think I'm stupid because it was so glossy and so well produced.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was just
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I spent days on that game on Board Game Geek, just asking billions of and on their own website and on Reddit back when I was on Reddit.
Did you get your feet held to the fire on that game a little, or no?
I did a little. I mean, as far
you?
as like, because they said, "How did you get this game so wrong?" And I was just like, "Here, go download the rule book." You know, and yeah, it was like, and the thing about that was they even knew that was like they said, like I remember Ryan telling me we should have hired somebody to do the rule book. We should have hired to do this. It's like we can make a really good game, but we can't produce a really good game. Is how he put it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just kind of like and that was. And then they thought that Myth did a lot. They got a ton of money on Kickstarter, and I mean I don't know for certain, but my guess is they thought, oh wow, well this is an unending money tree, and they probably sank a ton of money into producing a lot of copies of that game, and then it freaking died on the vine, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh well, we thought that we'd sell 20,000 copies or 30,000 copies or 50,000 copies of this, and that would
time,
and that would pay.
Could have.
Yeah,
and that would pay for all the other stuff that they had coming down the pipeline, and they were just like, oh, and then they vanished for like 9 months, like completely, like one of those, they ghosted the whole thing, and then everybody just constantly posting on Kickstarter, just like, where's our shit? Where's our shit? Where's our shit? And then it was like, and then the weird thing was they sold the company. They came back and they said, we're in talks to sell this company and all of the IP to another company. We can't say anything about it because of, legalese and whatever. Who knows if that's true or not. And then they said we sold it, and I forget the name of the company, but it's a pretty big European firm, like a miniatures firm. And then
Plastic Soldier.
I forget, they sold it, and then that company said, it was like, yeah, we've sold it to this company, and then that company couldn't post on the Myth Kickstarter because they did not have the passwords or anything.
Oh.
So they posted on their Facebook page and on their thing, they were like, this big long thing about, we know all the trouble that you've gone through, Myth backers, don't you worry, expect monthly updates, expect, we'll keep in touch with you, we'll let you know what's going on. And then there was like this giant gathering of hope, this giant hope balloon of like all these backers are like, oh, thank God, we're finally gonna get our stuff. This is amazing. We're finally gonna get our stuff. And then they like posted another thing like a week later. They're like, we're still gathering all this information. We'll be in touch with everybody soon about what you're missing for your pledge, and we'll make sure we get you this, that, and the other thing. And then they ghosted. They're like just gone for like a half a year, and the hope balloon just exploded, and everybody just lost their minds. And then like 6 months later, they finally got the password to the Kickstarter, and they came in there and they're like, this is the plan. And they actually did say this is the plan. And this is the inventory we have. If you haven't gotten any of these things, let us know so we can send you the stuff. And then the thing was, I contacted them. I sent them an email. I was like, I have no idea what I pledged for anymore.
They don't know what you don't have.
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta work now.
And it was just like, I said, I don't even know what I pledged for anymore. I said, I honestly have no clue. Could you let me know? And they sent me the spreadsheet that company had. And I was like, you idiots, you sent me like everybody, like, but I mean, fine. But they highlighted my name and it showed me everything that I had pledged for. I was like, okay, cool. There it is.
Entirety of the pledge manager.
Nice.
Email addresses?
Like it was a screenshot of probably 75 of 75 entries on a no, it was like there was other people there. They had blocked out the email addresses, but I could see they were like usernames and I could see what they had purchased or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, there it is. I bought like all of these expansions that are each have like 30 miniatures each, and I gave them like $300 way back in the day. And I was just like, cool, you know exactly what I have. And supposedly towards the end of 2020, I will get that stuff. So
fingers crossed for you.
I feel like I got everything I pledged for, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to play it.
Well, and that's just it. And it's just like I look at that box of Myth every once in a while. I go downstairs and I'm just like, I should really get rid of that. I can't get rid of it though until I get everything else. It's like it's just like it almost went in the ditch pile like 5 times, and I was just like, no, we're gonna hold on to this, and I'll take one picture of it. It'll be glorious. And then that's like a Kickstarter. That's a video I've been meaning to do. Like, these are the 3 Kickstarters that I'll never like. These like 3 or 4, and I just want to tell my story about these are the Kickstarters that I backed that I'm never going to get my rewards for. But I think I would give an honorable mention to Myth because I have a little tiny hope balloon that I still hold up. That's like it's that helium balloon that your kid holds on to that barely has any helium left, and so it's like sagging. And it's like, and you're like, it just looks kind of sad and pathetic. And you just like, you want to go over and just pop it and throw it away, but your kid won't let you. That's what I kind of look at Myth as. It's like, it's just.
What were you still owed?
Like there was a thing. There was all these little expansions. They called them modules, and they were each one had like its own scenario, and between 15 to 25 or 30 miniatures for each one.
Yeah,
and
I never did that too.
And then there was. And then like you could buy each one individually, or for like it was like I think they were like $30 a piece, or you could buy all 10 together, like as the all in on the modules for like $250. And I was like, fine, I want all of them, because they look really cool.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let's do it. And then I was just like,
too. I kind of want that now.
Here I am.
It was a fair investment, as I recall.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't like City Skylines Forest.
Huh.
I'm gonna go into it with an open mind tomorrow, and you know what? I'm gonna play it solo, and if I do end up liking it, I'm gonna put a little note on that video because I mean we butchered it because the 4 of us we did not have fun at all.
Well, if I could get on a plane, I'd come out and play it with you because I really love it. Oh, and also to your earlier question, Aldi. 44% of my traffic is from subscribers and 53% is from non-subscribers.
That's what we are, Jim.
I want to know.
We're like that as well.
Oh, now I want to look.
I bet mine is going to be substantially higher for non.
Yeah, I would bet it's higher as well.
You're talking to a future city councilman, motherfucker. Why don't you?
Are you on the ballot?
Looking like a true politician.
Are you on the ballot?
No, he's going to run in, was it 23?
I'm
2020. 2024. 2023, 2024. What?
Sure.
2023. I actually got corrected by someone and said, well, the elections of 2024, so I hope you do run because that's what we're great for. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay.
It's not this year.
No. I'm going to give myself 3 years. I'm going to, I'm
to what? Clean up your act. Bury your skeleton.
It'll take that long for his blood to clean out.
I'm going to lean in the fact that I'm just a regular guy. I'm going to lean into the fact that
you are far from regular. I don't know anybody like you.
Okay, I'm going
That's very
to
true.
lean in the fact that I deal with a lot of the issues that they deal with. 50% of people live paycheck to paycheck. I am in that 50%, and I'm going to try and say that, hey, if you want someone who's going to most likely have your best interests, I'm in a very similar position to you. Chances are, So, and here's what I want to do. I've got this big plan I've been working on about a self-driving shuttle that would be in my city that would start off. They actually have them in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm excited to try it at Origins.
Columbus.
But it goes to like all the essential like downtown stuff. It would never go over 25 miles an hour. But it's awesome for those people because it's a free resource. And I've been talking to some homeless people. I've talked to a lot of living homeless people. I got a coffee meeting tomorrow.
A lot of living homeless people? I mean, I hope you were talking to living homeless people.
No, Lance. There's a whole classification of people called living homeless, which is a huge epidemic because they are, for all intents and purposes, homeless. They're crowd surfing. They're staying on credit cards at hotels. They have jobs, but they can't afford to move themselves up. And they don't get any of this help because it mostly goes to like the quote unquote true homeless people. And they opened my eyes to it. I had like 4 or 5 people messaging me like, you need to look into more of the living homeless situation. And it's just, and now that I've gotten somewhat of a niche and I've got a lot of people contacting me, like somebody just sent me about how Fort Wayne, where I live, is the number 13 highest eviction rate in the country out of every other city in the country.
Wow.
7% of people who move into a place are evicted in Fort Wayne. 7%.
How do homeless people vote?
They pretty much don't. We're in Indiana where we have strict voter ID laws.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, if you're down here trying to vote, you're not getting votes. I'm like, no, man, I'm trying to better understand your problem so I can hopefully help you guys.
Mine's 68.7% come from not subscribed.
Oh, you couldn't hit 69?
Almost 70. Wow.
I like how Richard went to 70 and I went to 69.
See, and that's why you're not the average guy.
Okay, where are we looking? Because with all
that'd be because a higher percentage of your stuff is Kickstarter related stuff. So a lot of your stuff comes from the Kickstarter page, I would imagine.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Although that's not the case anymore. I imagine that's probably going to change.
I don't care. You either will or won't.
Do not. There is no try.
Anybody play All Cats yet?
No.
Yes. It is also in my top 10 of the year. And so, Aldi, could you just override the wishes of the designer and go into the database and make that a 2020 game?
Drop the.
It is.
Is it a 2020 game? Yeah.
No, it's on the database. It's a 2019 game. I tried to get it changed because it's going to get totally overlooked. It's not going to make everybody will have forgotten about it. No one will find it when
what game is this?
Top 10s for next year because they'll do a search for what came out in 2020. Isle of Cats did not. And the only reason it's doing it is because it was for sale at a couple of shops in Asia in December. And he thought, well, that means I got to make it a 2019. And it's like, dude, you're killing yourself because more people play that. I mean, that is such a wonderful, charming, pleasing game. That could easily be a top 10 of the year for a lot of people. And it won't be because he decided, well, I got to make it 2019. And it's just wrong. Drives me nuts.
We can adjust that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. My watch time from subscribers. Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
Anybody care to take a stab?
Of the percentage?
Yes.
Your subscribers are
30%.
I'm going to say your subscribers are 69%.
My not subscribed is 91.6%.
Whoa!
Wow. I'm telling you, it's because I do all those mass market games.
Yeah.
All those mass market games get people just Google on them.
Yeah. That's how you got your start, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm not saying it in a negative way or a positive way. It is what it is,
Wow.
It just, I assumed it was going to be high because of that.
9% of subscribers watch.
Well, it's because the 9%, like the subscribers don't even remember subscribing. Like, what? Awesome! This guy looks super cool
with no shirt.
Dave's not here, man.
90% of your user base will never come back and watch another video.
In a 365-day, wow, let's look at it like that.
That's
Let's
the
look
problem.
at that glass half empty.
That's why you keep telling them to hit that button and subscribe and mash that bell.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I think part of the problem is that I put out so much different content. Like
Why
maybe
did you put all your Yang stuff on your board game channel?
I don't. That's his whole separate channel.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I'm subscribed, so I just assumed it was. Never mind.
Yeah, that's 100 subscribers. No. It's all board games. I try to keep the politics off the board game channel. It's just I think it's just a matter of fact that I post so much stuff that's all different. Like, oh, this is a gameplay this is a kid's game. This is me reviewing the Batman, a really heavy game, and then this one's like me unboxing something. It's just so across the board and scattershot.
Did you guys all click the button that none of my content is made for kids?
I have claimed that my stuff is not for kids because apparently if you say it is for kids, I thought I should because my stuff is kid friendly. But apparently if you do that, it really restricts what your advertising is and it does a bunch of weird stuff.
It totally screws things up.
Really?
Yeah. There's a couple of videos I can point you to, but you're not making stuff for kids.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, the crazy thing about that is like, and I'm not trying to. I was thinking about this the other day. There are so many channels out there where the videos are obviously for kids, like, and they're getting like 7 million because they're videotaping their kids playing with toys. I mean, hell, my son used to watch those when he was like 3-4 years old.
Boxing toys.
Yeah, and he would just sit there. And like all of a sudden, boom! They can't have commercials anymore because of the fact that kids can't have commercials because they'll just click on things they don't know, and it's like, can you imagine having one of those YouTube channels and all of a sudden,
you basically yanked the rug from under you?
The FCC just came in and said you can't make any more money. Next.
Now there is a YouTube Kids, which I've not looked into to see what
they were blowing up my shit. It didn't look like it was that much. It looked like a little bit of a dog and pony operation. If it's the same people who are emailing me, because it didn't look like it was particularly, I don't know. It didn't look like it was ready for prime time.
What?
YouTube Kids?
Because I don't think it's actually YouTube Kids, is it? I think it's like a separate.
Yeah, it's called YouTube Kids. YouTube Kids. Can't speak.
Yeah, this is not the person that was emailing me.
From YouTube?
No. I think this was a different company that was making a all kids platform.
Did you guys contribute to a channel or to a streaming service that paid you advertisements based on board game ads? I was like, how hard is it to make a streaming service?
Uh-oh.
I mean, a YouTube competitor, mind you, or like a video hosting platform is really what I'm talking about.
SharkTube?
You would want it to be incredibly niche at the beginning, but yeah.
YouTube. But have you guys ever worked out how I don't know if we actually can talk about this. No, I'm not going to say it. We're not allowed to. But have you figured out how much you get per view? Ever?
Like per individual view?
Yeah.
Because it's mostly just done by 1,000. Like it's pretty commonplace that they normally do it per 1,000.
I could do some math right now, right?
Ooh, I'm doing my math too. Let's see who gets the most.
Alrighty.
Don't say it.
In the last 28 days.
Wait, why can't we say it? We're allowed to talk about how much money we make on YouTube.
No, we're not allowed to.
No.
I've heard that several times that that can get you in trouble with YouTube if you actually publicly state what you make.
Ooh, I'm taking down a Twitter post.
So I have to take my monthly and divide it with unique viewers, I guess? No, I need unique views. So I need to go away. I need to go to, I don't know my way around this at all.
No, you just got to look at how many views you got the last month divided by the number of.
Okay, here we go. Yes. All righty. So, 5.
You can type it in the chat. I'll type in mine.
Ooh, if you show me mine, I'll show you.
585,100 divided by. Now, where did I make money?
Man, that pisses me off that you're not supposed to talk about it, because that.
Well, I don't think anything bad is going to come of it. I've just heard that anecdotally.
Yeah, I don't. Let's avoid the whole thing. I mean, here's the deal. We're all content creators in the board game world. Why aren't there fucking board game commercials?
I don't know how much does it cost to advertise on?
That's the problem. Board game companies can't afford the advertising that would cost to put stuff on YouTube.
Companies and credit card companies can.
They might be able to afford it on GeekTube.
There you go.
I mean, I'm just like our prices probably will be a lot lower and a lot more saturation in the target community.
That is true.
Let's see.
I pay
divided,
so I don't know
how much I make by how many views I got over the last 28 days, and I make less than 1 cent. I make 0.002170 cents per view.
What's it break down to per 100? I feel like this would be easier.
All right, I will multiply that by 100 times 100 is 21 cents.
21 cents per 100 views.
Ooh, let's see. 54,000 views divided by
the number.
$175 because we're not allowed to say that.
No, you have to go the other way. You have to divide the money by how many views you had.
Oh my gosh. This is why I hated City Skylines.
I don't know. It's just a crazy idea we had last week.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the worst case scenario? It fails and you learned. I mean,
exactly.
And you burn a shit ton of money.
No, it's actually
it could have gone into more Texas land.
We figured out how much it costs to stream 1 gigabyte.
And how much is that?
Very cheap. It's very, very cheap.
Really?
Yeah, it's real cheap.
Okay, but how much does it cost to host?
Nothing.
It's free.
It's so cheap, dude. Like it's really cheap.
I made 31 cents per 100 views.
All right, well, you're doing better than me, buddy.
So it looks like me and Aldi are about at the same 30, 31.
Why would that be?
I'm going to guess it has something to do with the mass market appeal.
Yeah,
a lot of
crazy ass alchemy.
Yeah, because if you're clicking on, if you're looking at a video on Uno,
I just want to try it and see what happens.
Do it. I'll support it. I'll post my videos on there.
I mean, Brandon is great.
If I will certainly post your videos on there, if as part of the automated read stuff off my YouTube channel and link it to Board Game Geek, it would also transfer them over.
I'm not saying don't post on YouTube. Right?
Yeah.
No
Should I be cross-posting on Vimeo? That's the question.
No.
I would think
a lot of work.
Vimeo doesn't have any.
I don't know what it has.
I haven't looked at Vimeo in years.
Yeah, I don't understand why it exists. I mean, good on them.
I mean, they have a like if you wanted to charge like a per video fee, like if you wanted to buy a video, that's what Vimeo is great for. Like we put the documentary up there.
Oh, sure. Right.
You pay $20 for this video, that kind of thing.
I mean, you could have done that with YouTube, right? And it's just did you look into that? Why to do it on Vimeo rather than YouTube?
Good question.
Because I bet you can't. I'm sure anything they offer, YouTube offers as well, but they probably charge more, I would imagine, or take a bigger slice.
I'll talk to Eric about that.
Mm.
Did you ever get to watch the? Oh yeah.
No, thank you for reminding me. I have every intention of doing it and doing a shout out on the roundup, and I've just totally forgotten. I'm sorry. I feel very bad.
No, don't worry about it, man.
I do want to do it though.
But we did a screening of BGDCon. It was pretty well received.
Yeah, I had actually intended to go to that.
I've watched it like 15 times now, so like I know that movie pretty darn well. It's funny.
Which movie?
Yeah, I bet.
The Game Designers documentary.
Oh yeah. I still haven't posted my video of that. It's in my YouTube queue. I should post that.
Did you do a review?
I did.
Oh.
I just post like my part of the reason I don't get stressed out is because I'll shoot like videos and then I'll just throw them on my YouTube and then I'll go like a week or two without shooting anything and I'll just post 1 or 2 every couple days.
Oh, like backlog. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my key to not getting stressed out. Is just
host a backlog.
Backlog.
Hey, quick question: what was the first Kickstarter board game to hit it really, really, really big? Was it Zombicide?
Space game. Kingsburg.
Alien
No,
Frontiers.
Alien Frontiers did 14K. I mean, it succeeded, but I'm talking the first one that people said, "Whoa, that's kind of
maybe."
Oh, zombie. Right?
Relic Knights, Zombicide.
I thought Zombicide.
Super Dungeon Explorer.
Which was first, the Apocalypse or your Zombicide? Because I thought
They both came out around the same time.
The Apocalypse hit 210,000 April 7th, 2018. I would say that's pretty big, especially considering at that point.
2018? That seems too recent.
Yeah.
You mean like 2012?
Actually, it says 2018. That's a good question. Yeah, last updated. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They reprinted it probably.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's see. Chad mentions Ogre. Yeah, but
Ogre big box. Yeah.
But that was still after the first wave of first Kickstarter games.
let me tell you why I'm asking. I have to come up with a list of the 10 most important games of the last decade. And one of the ones I want to mention is the one that kind of changed people's attitude about Kickstarter. And my first thought was, oh, it's got to be Zombicide. Zombicide is what did it. And and Chad Roberts on the chat, he points out Ogre, and Ogre did super crazy well. But I don't think anybody saw Ogre and said, "Oh my God, we could copy that. We can make a big, gigantic box full of cardboard."
I think
miniature things. But everybody saw, "Oh my God, look what Zombicide did. We could copy that," and that changed things. Is that
I
fair?
would agree with that. Yeah,
Zombicide changed things. That was the ground zero of, well, let's just throw a lot of plastic in the box.
Why doesn't it say when this dang thing was launched? Yeah, I'm checking right now to see if Z-Apocalypse came before Zombicide or vice versa.
They were both around the same time. I remember
the first Homicide made.
But who was first? Who was first?
November 3rd. Oh no, it's an update.
Yeah, I know it's not easy to find for some reason.
Pick up the dates of all this stuff.
I'm going to updates. I'm going all the way to the bottom of updates, so I have to scroll through 8 pages.
Boo.
Very user-friendly Kickstarter.
Yeah, because they show you the latest updates, right? You can't reverse sort.
Yep.
But when was the last updated? Boo.
There we go. Update number 78. What do we got? April 6, 2012.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
seems like a day ago. God damn. I hate getting old. Time acceleration.
Yeah. It gets excelled too when you have kids. Like my kid's turning 7 tomorrow, and it's like, what the what? That's not possible.
It's possible. It's true. Spend more time with them. You'll never get it back.
Well, I keep getting younger though, so it's no big deal.
Oh, well, there's that. That's good.
Yeah, it is. God, this is
Let's go.
Unuser friendly.
Who knows?
This thing falls apart without Lance.
Yeah. I'm doing research. I got an excuse. I legitimately want to know which one came first. Like, because I think Ogre the big box. That's a solid one too. April 22nd, 2012. That one was. Project launches April 6th, and this one funded. Okay, so Z-Apocalypse came after Zombicide. So Zombicide was like 2 weeks before Z-Apocalypse, which makes me wonder if they saw Zombicide and they were like, oh shit, we got to push this out the door. We got to get this out right now. This is going to be hot. I wonder if that was the line of thinking.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Jeff about that next time I see him and see what role Zombicide played in pushing Z-Apocalypse out. I think that'd be interesting. Ogre Big Box. And the Ogre Big Box was April 11th, 2012.
2012 was a big year.
Yeah.
Big year for Kickstarter.
If you want to cheat, it sounds like those 3 right there, Richard, might be just 3 to all spotlight and say they really just kicked the.
Well, I mean, I'll give honorable mentions to the other one, but I just got to figure, which one,
like Ogre.
which one to give the, the
Ogre
entry
came first, it looks like, and it hit 920,000.
Which one?
Ogre.
Yeah, but at what time? When was Ogre and when was Zombicide?
Ogre,
in terms of, they're both 2012 months wise.
April 11th, I believe, was what I saw with the Ogre. Whereas Z-Apocalypse and Zombicide were both May, I think it was. Oh God! Now I can't check again. This is so damn not helpful.
Yeah.
Lance.
Kind of like you. What's up? What's up? What's up?
You need to do a top 10 like Kickstarter flops.
Top 10 Kickstarter what?
Like top 10 board game Kickstarter flops. I mean, I could do the 3 that like just totally. Are you talking about
airlines?
That were games that were delivered, but like nobody cared about. You know what I mean? Like Sedition Wars, I was like broken out of the box. You know, all those kind of things.
Like what was broken on the Seafall?
Sedition Wars broken out of the box.
I know, that was a Kickstarter.
But Seafall wasn't Kickstarter though.
Sedition Wars.
True.
Repeat. And then
You said Sedition Wars? Yeah, that's true. That was like huge, but then nothing happened with it.
What the hell, Steve Jackson Games? Why is there 285 updates on Ogre? I'm done. I'm done, Richard. I'm not helping you.
Are you just trying to scroll down to like the first update?
It's because every single time they did anything that had anything to do with Steve Jackson Games, they alerted every single one of their backers that Steve Jackson Games was doing it.
Hey guys,
Go to Kick Track.
Stretch goal on Car Wars.
Go to Kick Track.
Oh my god. Yeah, Kick Track. No.
Kick Track.
Richard's on this. I'm gonna go outside. I'll be back.
Paulie, what's the name of that? What's the name of the bookcase? What's the name of the bookcase at IKEA?
Billy.
Billy.
We had Billy bookcases in Malta. I like the Billies more than the Calyx.
The Billies are good. If you know, because you can adjust them to make
exactly
sizes.
There was a problem with the Billies we had in Malta, though, in that they are kind of long, and over time they did start to bow just ever so slightly.
Sat in the middle.
Oh, what was it? I thought of you today, Richard. Somebody was talking about a movie that shot in Malta, and now I want to know what it is so I can tell you. I want to know if you were there when it was shot. Like if you lived there.
I did live there. I was on the same island as Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. They caused traffic problems.
The Billy Baroo.
I drove by a house that I was told, you know what? Tom Hanks is in that house right now.
It was Tom Hanks. It was Tom Hanks, and
it was the
Captain Phillips. Which, by the way, if anyone's got 30 minutes, like you're doing dishes or something like that, they did a roundtable actors discussion with Tom Hanks, Robert De Niro, Adam Sandler, Shia. Are you interrupting me, or can I talk?
I am interrupting you. I am interrupting you. It's my show.
Sir. I talked to my 6-year-old about that. If you know what someone's saying, it's best not to be a jerk and like correct him. Like, so if you know, buddy.
Are you trying to tell me right now you're treating me like your 6-year-old?
Hey, Lance, if you know what somebody else is talking, it's kind of kind not to correct them. Just because everybody misspeaks sometimes. Do you misspeak sometimes, Lance?
No.
Well, a lot of people do, and so it's just a kinder thing to do, and a lot of times people will be much more likely to like you if you just let it slide. Right? Just gonna let it slide. Yeah, Lance, I'll talk to the kids in my class.
And you know what?
My councilman, right there.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Fort Wayne.
Yeah, and you know what though?
That's what you have to do as a politician. You have to treat them like kids.
Anyway, it was Jamie Foxx too. It was a roundtable discussion. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I've watched
a couple of those. Did Jamie Foxx have a son? That's why he's Jamie Foxx 2?
I got nothing.
I believe he meant to say I believe it actually was grammatically correct to say 2 instead of as well.
However,
those are very good videos. I've watched a couple, but man, they take up so much time, even at double speed.
What video is it?
Oh, there's several. I think they're on Variety's website. They're actor roundtables where they get a really interesting, diverse group of actors who just basically sit around and talk for a half an hour, and they're really good.
Do you guys remember Dinner for Five?
Yeah.
It's basically the YouTube equivalent of Dinner for Five without John Favreau, basically.
I cannot find those videos anywhere. They do not.
Find them for you right now.
One season on Hulu, I think it is.
Find them for me, Richard.
I will go to justwatch.com. Dinner for
what random
5.
Streaming service will have them.
Dinner for 5 is available on all 5 seasons. Can be found. Well, season 1 can be found on Netflix.
Yeah, watched it. Season 5 can be found nowhere. Yeah. Where's 2 and 3 and 4? Nowhere.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Coming to Netflix next year.
They're not even in the internet truck, the dump truck or whatever.
Huh, that's crazy. Well, then, I know of this other site called thepiratebay.asia. You might want to check that one.
Not on there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like it went into the void and never to
That was a good show.
come back. Yeah, I wanted to watch all the rest of the episode.
All right, gents. I have to be up at 6:30 in the morning, so I am out. We'll see you all next Wednesday.
Bye. That Aqua offer still stands.
I
Hey.
already emailed you.
Oh,
Uh,
alrighty.
Peter.
I'll check that later.
Yes.
Peter, thank you for speaking correctly and not making me have to correct you during this.
You're welcome, Lance, although I will still continue to treat you like a child, but I appreciate the sentiment. Good night, everybody. See you later.
Night, Peter.
Bye.
Let's see. Do I have an email from
We're
him?
talking about biggest flops, and
Well, it was just kind of games that like raised a lot of money, came out, and then nobody really enjoyed them.
yeah,
Like almost all Kickstarter games.
but my question is, like Forrest was saying,
No. Back up there for just a second. I mean that totally because of the fact that, like Kickstarter games, with some exceptions, generally, they sell to the people that they sell to the people that are going to want that game,
right?
and then the remaining 1,000 or 2,000 copies they print off just will slowly dribble out as time goes on. I mean, that would be a more interesting thing, and that would take some research. Like a Kickstarter game that, you can think of notable exceptions like Scythe, obviously, things like that. But I mean, go back and look at, the last 50, go to like the January through June of 2019 and look for games that were delivered in late 2019 and then and just see if people are even talking about them. I mean, it's just like people don't. It's just,
well, people don't talk about
Any game.
the majority of retail games that came out within that time frame as well.
no, because we are in totally board gamers are in a use. I mean, I'm talking the us, the upper percentage. We are a buy, play, and stick on a shelf, or sell at eBay or whatever.
Fire and forget.
Buy and forget.
I played Lord of the Rings the other day, by the way, from 2000. Still fantastic.
The Runner Ninja?
One of my favorites of all time. Yeah.
You talking about oh yeah, I was actually thinking about getting that out with my son a couple weeks ago.
I mean, it does suck, and are we curmudgeons to think like, oh, what about all these games from 2000 to 2005 that nobody talks about anymore?
I just think of
There aren't that many.
not to
You'd be surprised.
like, how about this? Games that had a lot of hype. Perfect example. Games that had a lot of hype that actually sustained that hype. I remember when everybody was talking about Agricola. Like, this was, oh my gosh, have you heard about this game? It's coming out.
Caverna fired it.
What?
Caverna completely embraced that.
Well, yeah, Caverna's the better game, but I still remember getting Agricola and playing it and just saying, wow, this game is there's an economy here. There is I remember being annoyed until I started doing card drafting to start the game.
Daniel told me he was going to get rid of all of his games except for Agricola, because why did he need any
Agricola this month has had 750 plays logged on Board Game Geek. Caverna has had 340.
Really?
Yes.
Caverna's a better game, though.
Caverna
I don't think that's fair.
I
I don't think that's fair because there is a decent digital Agricola app and there is not one for Caverna. So I would strike that. Correct.
Putting digitals.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. I know I do.
Well, you're saying Agricola's number should be even higher because Agricola's already crushing Caverna 2-1.
No,
but he's saying that a lot of those plays are being played digital.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's a good point.
I think if Caverna came out with a great app right now, like, no offense, but I'm downloading that and I'm looking at my iPad the rest of the evening. Like, I would be hyped for a solid Caverna app because that game just
See, Kyle mentioned, he said wargamers play all these old games, and I'll fully agree that wargamers do play those old games. And one of my favorite things I saw, and this is not this isn't a judgment of wargamers or whatever. One of my favorite things that I saw was at the flea market at BGG Con 2 years ago or 3 years ago. There was the quintessential, like, old Grognard, and he hadn't done anything to really show off his games. Everybody else, you know, they're doing something cool or fun or whatever. He hadn't done anything. He just had big giant cardboard boxes, and it said $5 any game on it. And basically, like, people were digging through his cardboard boxes, and like they had rubber bands on them to hold them shut and everything like that. And people were like, "Is this complete?" He said, "I have no idea." And then for like the first 20 minutes, they were $5. The next 20 minutes, he was 3 for $5, and then the last 10 minutes, take them, they're yours.
Yeah.
It's just like, and eventually people just like put all that he had left in boxes and just folded them up and took them.
Did you get anything out of the Dum Dum? The Dum
Dum. This is what the Dum Dum. I got the old Eurogame version of Serenissima, which is the better version of it.
That's a good pick.
That was a really good one. And after all was said and done, nobody had the person who got to pick, like, took the Gloomhaven. He didn't take the Glory to Rome.
Yeah.
And then the guy there was a guy there. He said, "I'll give you $50 for it." And he's like, "I don't know." And I just walked up and I said, "I had a $100 bill in my hand. I'll give you $100." Because it was like that. Oh yeah, because I want it. I mean, because like it'll never get reprinted, and I have a black box.
It was the business card one.
But I wanted the old clamshell version, and it had the expansion in it as well. It had like the very, very, very few people ever had the expansion in the old shitty art for that. And I was like, "I'll give you $100." He said, "Done." And then the guy that was offered him 50 got like scowled at me like I was some like
I wonder how much
on
that. That's interesting.
I could put it on eBay right now and double it probably.
No, I mean, I wonder how much the guy made selling Dum Dums.
Oh, he made a chunk of cash.
Did you guys, by the way?
What?
Or probably just me and you are.
Oh no, yeah. So basically, if you've ever been to a kid, like my kid's school has a kids fair inside of it to raise money, and it's like basically you go in there, you pay them $20, you get a bunch of tickets, and you go and do stuff, and it's just kids get to run around the school and be crazy and make funny hats and do all those things. But there's always a sucker pull, and like so there's a big board where the suckers go in and
a lollipop.
You pull the lollipop out. And if the end of the lollipop is colored in a certain way, you win a prize. So this guy had, like, what was it? It was 500 Dum Dums or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a big giant box
board. And it was like, and then he was giving people like X number of pulls for
$20.
Yeah, for a certain number of dollars. And then the games they won were random. He had wrapped them up in plain gray wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And this basically was like, so this is a $20 game. Well, you want a $20 game here? And he didn't let you pick the box. He just reached in, grabbed one, handed it to you. And it's like, oh, you want a $50 game? He reached in, grabbed it, handed it to you. And then there was 3 big winners, and it was Gloomhaven, Glory to Rome, and I can't remember what the third one was.
Was it like Scythe or something?
I don't know. It was a $100 game though.
Where was this at?
What?
Where was this at?
BGG Con at the thing.
That sounds cool.
And I like Paul Tompkins. That is gambling, Aldi. And you know what, Paul? I remember Paul gave $20 to the sucker guy too. So
what'd you get out of it, Paul? I gave everything I won away.
I won a couple other small games and I just gave them away. And I remember I won a kids game. Like one of them was a kids game, and I just saw this kid was with his parents, and I was like, "Hey, you want this?" And the kid took it, and I was like, "That's cool." I was like, my good deed for the day.
Serenissima is at least
Serenissima is an excellent game. I love that game. And like I said, it's the old Eurogame version of it that has better components than when I think Z-Man reprinted it.
Istari
did, yeah.
What happened to Istari?
They got like swallowed up
by
by
Asmodee. After they bought Repos.
Metropolis was a very good game of theirs from a while back. I really liked that game.
I remember your story.
Um,
And Is, like Is or whatever, YS. I mean, that was a really good dice game.
East, yeah.
East and East Plus was the
I like-
expansion
I
for
like
it.
Bahan. That was my favorite.
Isfahan, but the game that that exposed me to that company was Metropolis and then YS with the end, and it was very it had like those thick chunky blocks or whatever to represent the different parts of the city that you built up, and like and it was like kind of area control, and it was mean and nasty, which I liked. So
Your story had some heavy hitters on there. Kalis Magna Carta, they had Spirium, Sherlock's Home Detectives console.
yeah, I mean, no, they're still around. I think it's just part of the Asmodee board.
Ooh.
Did you see that Repos finally became part of Asmodee or whatever? They were fine. The amoeba finally encircled them and dissolved them, and it became part of the board.
What surprised me is the founder Cedric.
Distance is futile.
The what?
The founder Cedric, come on,
Yeah,
left.
Okay.
just out of anger or what?
No, but he's leaving the company and doing another.
Starting another startup.
Well,
Yeah.
that's probably he just maybe he just got tired of it, right? And just going to do his
he
own thing.
sold, got his money, and he's out.
It's so funny because I went to their booth. He was the one that gave me the beer. Remember, Lance? I had the beer.
Yeah,
I came back with the beer and Last Bastion, which is great, by the way. Last Bastion, really nice.
yeah. Last Bastion
No,
is
it's not.
Reimplementation of Ghost Stories.
yeah, and I really like it. I mean, and it's still brutal, it's still tough, but they definitely did remove some of the clunkiness.
What do you don't
And-
what do you like about it, Richard?
Well, I can't speak about higher player counts, but they really kind of ruined it as a 2-player game. Ghost Stories is significantly better.
Actually, now that I think about it, I remember playing Ghost Stories 2-player a lot. There was a like the opening theme music of that weird the heavy metal thing is this two-player man geek band that I used to work with one of them, and the other guy's just a fixture and the Kamikaze Snowmen, and I just said, hey, I need a theme song, and they're like, give us a day, and they came back with that 12-second little, and they're like, what's the lyrics be? I was like, I said something. He thinks he's awesome, and then that's
Oh, is that
what,
it? Okay.
he thinks he's awesome. And the guy said, I don't know, just something that says I'm awesome. And then they're like, so then they came back with, he's undead, he's the undead Viking, he thinks he's awesome.
It is iconic.
It's over and done with.
It said something else, but okay, whatever.
What did you think it said?
He thinks it's awesome.
Oh no, it's just he thinks
He
he's
thinks
awesome.
he's awesome
Like it basically, I'm full of myself.
because
He
you're
thinks-
reviewing. I thought because you were reviewing games, he thinks the games are awesome.
Yeah,
were you
no,
thumbing your nose at the undead Viker hatings?
I don't
Undead
know.
Viking haters? rather?
I've got my fair share, I'm sure.
Yes.
And they're
I remember I heard a song actually. This is not totally a go off the rails here, but like I'll tell Alexa to, and now Alexa just beeped at me, but I'll tell Alexa just play me some music.
order toilet paper.
Yeah, no, I'll tell it to play me music during the day when I'm working, and I don't want to like watch. If I have something on the TV, it'll like distract me, and I'll start watching it. Or so I just have it play music, and I forget what the song was, but the song was like it had a refrain where it said like something like I've come to the point in my life, and it matters to me and you before I leave this body. I want to, like, it was something like, I want to be able to say without any doubt, I have no enemies. And I was just like, oh, that's actually that was like that's a great way to live. Like, just like when I get to the end, I want to be able to say that I don't have any enemies. Maybe. And then I was like, that's really nice. And I thought, because you've buried them all. Just like, but no, but it was a very good song. I wish I could figure out what it was. And then I always think of it, and then I always like, Alexa, what was that last song? And then they're like, no, it's probably gonna answer me or say something to me now. But and then like it'll tell me the song before. I was like, no, not that one. You know. Hey, for those of you who have Alexa, have you ever had it just turn on all of a sudden and like play something?
Yeah.
Like you're just sitting in complete silence, and all of a sudden, It's like he gets his wires crossed with somebody else in some nearby Wi-Fi or something. I don't know.
Now, do you have like Spotify Premium connected?
No.
Okay. No, because I know that happens sometimes because we get the Spotify Premium as part of what I think it was something else we got, and that would happen where my kids would steal like my Spotify because they would start listening to music on Alexa while I was listening to them in the basement on the computer or something.
Yeah.
So
I do remember, and now this is crazy. So I remember like this, I was in high school and I was in the basement of my buddy David Ingberg's house. And we were like just creating characters or something for Dungeons and Dragons. And all of a sudden we started hearing somebody talking and we were like, what is that noise? And then everybody was like, what are you talking about? No, there's like somebody talking, and then so we all got quiet, right? And we were listening, and then we heard like somebody having like a conversation and talking. We're like, what is that noise? And it was actually like his speakers downstairs were actually broadcasting a phone conversation some woman was having with somebody, and she was in a phone booth. And we could only imagine like somebody must have had a wireless, not a cell phone, because cell phones weren't a thing. Well, they were a thing, but they weren't a thing. So somebody must have had a cordless phone that was like on the perfect frequency or something, and the speakers were picking it up, and the speakers were broadcasting like this conversation these two people were having about like, why are you gonna come and pick me up? I'm at the phone booth out here, and we were just like, what is this? But it was super. And I was like, it was like crazy. And I was like, oh, I should have been like two dead people talking when you could have said it was like the Twilight Zone or something. Like that classic Twilight Zone episode where like the lady keeps getting phone calls from her dead husband or whatever, and like she thinks it's like a crank caller. And then she finally like she gets so mad she drives out to where he's buried in a storm, and lightning had struck the telephone lines, and the telephone lines had landed on his grave. And so he was actually like trying to reach out to her.
Oh, one time I played Out of the Blue Ministry plays, and scared the shit out of me because it was Thieves. You know that song, Ministry, the Thieves song?
Yeah.
Which is like, like this really, and it was so loud. And I'm like, why the fuck is it playing Ministry? And I think it was like 6 months earlier, I remembered playing it one night for somebody who wanted to listen to some Ministry. So it just, imagine that getting turned on in the middle of the day, just like 100% volume in your house. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Shit out of me.
I drank a copious amount of liquor with Alan or Elaine Jurgensen, the lead singer of Ministry.
Did you get him to tell you that the first songs were really their songs and not made up?
Well, if you ever go and track down his very first album, it was very much like weird.
My favorite album.
Your favorite album?
All my favorite Ministry songs are from the first ones.
What was that? With Sympathy or something like that? Is what it's called?
It's Halloween and all that stuff.
Oh, it's such garbage.
It's great. It's the best.
No, it isn't, because it wasn't heavy metal or it wasn't industrial music at all. No, it was garbage. And he was quite the character when he was lucid. Yeah. That he drank. He would. I drank it with him that night, but I've never had it before. But he ordered Jack Daniels mixed with like Merlot wine.
Oh God.
And so we called it the Jurgensen whenever we would like convince somebody to try it. And they're like, yeah, have a Jurgensen. And then it was like Merlot and Jack Daniels. It was not good, but I suppose if you have enough of them, it eventually tastes good. But yeah, that was way back in the day when I used to I was like one of the top, like for a production or like basically a promotion company that brought bands in. I was one of like 2 guys that ran the security. That was a fun job. You paid a lot of cash. Yeah, the one time I some guy came rolling over the top of the pit, and I was working I was working the pit or whatever, and I had just caught like some tiny 90-pound girl, and I caught her because she was crowd surfing, and then I saw this guy just basically barrel rolling towards me, and both of his boots hit my face like dead on, and like gave me 2 black eyes, broke my nose. What?
You get double Doc Martens in the face?
Yeah, no, I got raccooned, and then the guy that ran the production company, who's still in business to this day, like I must have blacked out for like a half a second because I remember I like basically I went down like this because the girl was gonna get hit, and so I just got wham, and I was on the ground, and like and one of the guys that I work with, he kind of pulled me up and he's like, "Hey, you okay?" And I was like, and he got up and he's like, "Hey, you go clean yourself up." And then I went and I like realized I had nose was bleeding, and I had a cut on the top of my nose, and I could just feel my eyes getting puffy. And the guy who ran the company, he came back and he was like, "Oh, hey, what happened?" And I was just like, "Oh, and I told him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, why don't you just take the rest of the night off? I'll just pay you right now." And we just got paid cash. And then I was like, but I was young, and like I think I was like 22, 23, and I realized that he was just scared I would like go to the emergency room or something. And since we didn't work with a W-2 or anything, there was no contract, there was no anything. It was just like at the end of the night, he just gave us a certain amount of money from the draw, and it was just like, but yeah. I was thinking about that, man. I mean, and that guy's like, he's actually got a really big production, like a promotion company. Like he's huge in Minnesota as far as like the different venues and stuff he's tied into. And I was like, God, I could have sued that guy into oblivion way back in the day, but oh well, I missed my chance.
Could have wrecked him.
Yeah, then I guess he wouldn't be a huge person at all. But I was happy I didn't have to clean up that night. I was just so happy I got my full pay and I didn't have to sting around after the concert was over and pack up the gear or anything.
Yeah, that was the worst. I took a job in college cleaning up after concerts, and it's the worst. Trash.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I can imagine.
I remember Fleetwood Mac. The Fleetwood Mac concert was the worst one that I can remember.
That does sounds like a really raucous crowd.
I don't know. Well, people just toss their shit on the floor.
Yeah, I know that. The millions of times, like I probably did security for between 100 150 different concerts. The only time I was ever involved in a fight, I mean, I broke up fights a lot. You'd see a fight would start and you'd run out there and you just basically separate people. And then if somebody needed to be thrown out, you'd throw them out. And then, but I remember somebody like said there was a fight going on and basically you see the crowds there. And it was at a Cinderella concert, and it was like early 90s, and it was like everybody showed up in their jean jackets. And everybody got enough liquor in them to like remember how tough they once thought they were. And we broke up more fights that night ever. But the one fight I got into, I remember I grabbed a guy off the floor, and he turned around and sucker punched me right in the face. And then he realized that he hit a security guy, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then like this other security guy who was like bigger than me, just like flying tackled him. Like I just remember him flying past me, and then like I was like, holy cow. And then like his friend jumped on me, and we all just big scuffle, and we just dragged everybody out and threw him out. But I mean, that was the only time I ever had to deal with a fight. The women were actually worse than the dudes. They were like, you can't, like they just, I don't know, it was like weird. It was like they didn't think they'd get thrown out if they got boisterous or anything like that. And it was like most of the men at the concerts, they were very like, they just wanted to be there for the music. But I mean, it was just like, God, man, the women would just scream and yell at us and call us the worst names ever. I don't know. I don't know why that was.
Are Cinderella fans?
Yeah, Cinderella fans, maybe. Probably the easiest.
Cinderella songs. Like
The easiest concert I ever worked was a Bob Mould concert.
Bob Mould's awesome. So
Yeah.
what was the best Cinderella song they had? I can't.
Oh, God.
Was that Once Bitten, Twice Shy? No, it's not.
No, that's Poison. Cinderella. They
I like how you were so flippant. Like, God, such an idiot. It's totally Poison.
It
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
Poison,
but that
it was
is
Great White.
Or was
that
it great?
is
It was Great White. Wasn't Poison.
That's
My
right.
sister loved
Once
that
Bitten,
song.
Twice Shy was Great White. Really?
Oh,
Yes.
so typically,
My sister loved that song.
Burned down the
No, I don't.
Mary, you the real MVP. No fact checking. Let's focus on Cinderella.
Don't do that. My memory's shot. I smoke weed.
Let's see here. During the band's debut on Night Songs, studio session drummer Jody Cortez brought in help with the recording. Something Night Songs was released, eventually triple platinum status. Number 3. Cinderella's first tour was in 1986 with glam metal rockers Poison, opening for the Japanese heavy metal band Loudness.
While you're reading that, bye everybody.
Oh, you're taking off?
Yeah.
Don't know what you got.
God, it's down. All right. Good night, Richard.
All right.
That was the big hit, charting at number 12,
Cinderella?
88.
Cinderella's second album, Long Cold Winter, was released in 1988. The new album signified a shift towards blues rock. A 254 show tour to support the album lasted over 14 months.
Oh my god.
Oh my good lord! Can you
They don't
imagine?
tour like that. Like Metallica and them, they don't tour like them guys.
So this let me run an idea by you. Think about it. So you talked specifically about how the women at these Cinderella concerts were a problem. So maybe they're coming with their husband, who's a huge Cinderella fan, and he's the guy that's there for the music. But this is her second or maybe third time seeing Cinderella. Maybe.
Oh. You might be onto something there. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, don't know what it's on. It's gone. Gypsy Road, Last Mile. I'm coming home.
Wait, that's Cinderella?
Yeah,
I thought that was Motley Crue.
they're all kind of bleed together, don't
You're
they?
thinking, I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Home Sweet Home.
Yeah, that's
Home, sweet home.
Motley Crue is my jam. That's my favorite 80s hair
My
band.
brother was really into them.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
Tesla? The
I've
band?
seen them once at my local bar, and I didn't get it. They-
You know, remember when Tesla decided they were going to do the acoustic jam, and everybody just lost their freaking minds for that album?
I saw Jackal at the same bar. That was
What was the one with
Jackal, the guy that he played the chainsaw solo.
Yep. Yeah, he carved into the ceiling the name Jackal on it.
what was the band with Jason Bonham as the drummer?
What do you think?
That my phone
Jason
make it
Bonham.
Oh man, now how do we even get on this? But
Hey,
something red with a color. If I'm trying to remember. Like,
Jason Bonham, English drummer,
yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
well, the son of the immortal, right?
He played the Led Zeppelin concert, as I recall.
Really?
The reunion concert.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
did.
did. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Before.
Let's see. Bonham drum for Paul Rogers. Heard of Woodstock.
Was it called Bonham? No. Was it?
No.
So I got a question. for you guys.
The Outrider album. He joined former to play an Outrider.
Like there was one song I remember from that band that I loved.
I got a question for you guys. Kabuki Kid actually made me laugh with a joke. But what do you think about a campaign slogan that plays off of Run, Forest, Run? So to just say Run, Forest, Run, Fort Wayne City Council.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that if you do something like that, at the very least, I mean, first of all, somebody who's got the name Forrest has done that before, but who cares? The thing is that you like my dad when he decided to run for state legislature and he got it. one of the reasons why he got it is that his last name was Mikester, and he taught school for 38 years. And like his constituents were like the vast majority of them, like when he went and stumped in his area, like people would walk up and like, Mr. Mikester, what are you doing here? It was like literally like they're like my old high school teacher. And he was also like the hippie guy that everybody thought was funny and cool, and he would make jokes. And so like when people went to go vote, they're like, wait a minute, Mikester, that's that guy who taught school. I remember him. Yeah. And they would vote for him, just because it's name recognition. Most people don't know anything of what their like state legislature stands for, or what they're going to push, or anything like that. They have no clue. So if you have like a gimmick like I remember there was a guy that that won a seat. All he did, his last name was Nord, and he basically just made for the signs that people put in their lawns. It was just a giant green sign, green with white lettering, that just said Nord. It didn't say anything else. It just, and the guy got like 80% of the vote because people drove by it every day. They're like, Nord. And then they finally went to vote. Oh, Nord. Yeah, that guy. Okay.
You know what? You've sold me. I think I got the name recognition there. I should use it.
Well, what would make you vote for somebody first? I think I would use that.
Well,
somebody will give him $1,000 a month.
No, and this isn't gonna. I'm not trying to sound this as insulting to anybody, but I try and really choose based on who I think aligns with my interests. Like, so I will, like, look into their policies and really dig into it a little bit and their track records. But I know that is not the majority of voters because they just don't have time, or they don't want, much rather spend their time doing other things.
They don't have the attention span.
But I think Lance is absolutely right. And I just looked up something on Google about it, which also kind of said that similar, that name recognition is huge in local politics.
Well, I don't think too many people in Fort Wayne watch Bowers Corner. Yeah,
Yeah, but Run Forest Run. Everybody knows Run Forest Run.
that's true.
So if I can use my name for that.
Give yourself like a buzz cut and like
Oh God.
cut the hair. You probably got to cut the hair, honestly.
Nope.
Well, you can't win.
I'm going to trim it up and make it look nice, but I'm really trying to lead into my
like ponytail or something.
Yeah, I'm an everyman. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm not a politician.
Okay.
Hopefully that works.
When's the first election? 2024?
2023. It'll be the next presidential election after this one, pretty much.
I thought it was 2 years for city council.
No, ours is 4 years. It varies by different.
Yeah, I think it's state to state.
Like some people get paid. Like ours pays $22,000 a year, which I mean, that doubles my salary. I mean, so that was really cool when I found that.
You got to cut your hair for $22,000.
Yeah, but I don't think I need to. I think I don't know.
At least get in a ponytail.
People like me will not vote for you.
I
wouldn't vote for Forrest because he has long hair.
Oh, you can't do it, dude. You got to be serious.
Well, here's the other thing.
Suits. You got to cut your hair. You got to not tie. I mean, it is what it is. You got to do it.
Well, here's the other thing too. There's a very high chance that I wouldn't be running against another Democrat. It would just be straight Republican Democrat.
So he'll be wearing a suit and a tie, and you'll be.
Well, the other thing to consider, Aldi, is that at the city council level where we are, like, there's no debates. There's no nothing. It's just
popularity.
Yeah, I mean, we show up at homeowners meetings, and I try and get people to, listen to what I'm saying. But for the most part, it's just, run, Forrest, run, baby. Run, Forrest, run. It's catchy. If I get it on enough cars, I might win.
Yeah. You got to cut the hair, though.
Sorry. Yeah. So just like my wife.
Well, it ain't like you haven't had short hair before, dude.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Do it the year before. Be good.
Yeah.
And who cares? It grows back.
Yes.
I
mean, it is what But
and I was telling Lance about this 2 weeks ago. Win or lose, I'm just excited to see what comes of this.
Who's the
It's going to be a hell of a story one day, no matter what happens.
The party is currently in power with this for your district or whatever.
Actually, it was 7-2, and now it's 5-4. And the guy that I'm going against is he might actually not be running because apparently he's been set up to run for mayor. And like I've oh my gosh, I got to tell you guys about some of the stuff because it's insane. But so this buddy of mine who runs as a Republican, he was like, "Here's some stuff that I want to help you with," and he took me to like the deep, dark part of the website where it has all the stats and all the data, and it's almost creepy how much information I can get about my neighborhood just based off this. Like I can know exactly how many people voted in a specific precinct, who they voted for, so I can pinpoint exact places where my message is going to resonate more and avoid, spending the time in other areas. And it's just like, wow, there's a whole world that I'm about to discover. And it's going to be interesting.
It's an algorithm anymore. It's not politics. Yeah.
What was that?
It's an algorithm anymore. It's not politics. Yeah.
Yeah, at the big level, but at the small level, like I've been watching a lot of my city councils. Like they have a very important job. Like pretty much everything in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot bigger than I expected. But at the national level, I definitely do it.
How many people in the city? What's the population?
Oh, 200,000 roughly. We're like the 68th largest city, so it's a good size. I mean, put it into perspective. Mayor Pete's running for president, and Fort Wayne's bigger than South Bend by a pretty decent size.
Right.
Billy.
Are you guys watching any of the impeachment?
Since ultimately it's not going to result in him being kicked out because of the fact that they just don't have the votes, and people are it's all people like making names for themselves at this point, and so I'm annoyed by it. And then the fact that people are like, "Oh, can you believe what he did?" Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Okay, I mean, you really can't. I mean, there's nothing anybody can say to me, not to get political, but there's nothing anybody in the world is going to be able to say to me unless they show him like breaking the necks of puppies, on YouTube channels. I mean, like, there's nothing anybody can say to me about him that's going to actually lower my opinion of the person in any way, right? And it's just like, so now it's just like it's like this whole politics thing where it's just like, all these people that are like basically they're audio bites where it's like he's the worst, and like that's why he's the worst, and like it's just like, oh, what outlandish thing am I gonna say? And it'll be the newest soundbite for the media today, and then ultimately we'll have a vote, and then he won't be gone because they won't have the votes, and everybody knows they don't have the votes, and it's just kind of like it's just a sound stage right now for politicians to go out there and toot their horn for a while, and then ultimately, and the shittiest part about the whole thing is they won't get rid of him. And the first thing that he'll say is see, I've been exonerated. I didn't do anything wrong. And all the people that are going to vote for him anyway, that's what they're going to say. That's going to be like that stupid trump card when you argue with somebody about football, where it's like, when I say, oh, the Minnesota Vikings are better your team. Oh yeah, well, we want a Super Bowl. Yeah, 30 fucking years ago, but no, Super Bowl. You don't have a Super Bowl. My team's better. It's just like it's a stupid trump card that you can't really argue about, and they're gonna be like, it's just like Trump is an idiot. Oh, he was exonerated. He was exonerated. But he was exonerated. He was exonerated.
And I want to say that, in my opinion, literally every word that just came out of Lance's mouth was correct. Like it's all fucking pointless. Like every single person knows this is not going to, like, who is the person that believes that this is going to end in impeachment? They're not going to turn their back on him because it would just be, it would potentially be the death of the Republican Party for a good period.
Do you not think that people who think he should be impeached would not vote again for Republicans? Like, do you think they're committing
Here's the deal. I don't know. This is just my opinion. People that are going to vote Republican are going to vote Republican anyway. It doesn't fucking matter who the person is that they put up there. that's how he got elected. It's because they were going to vote Republican anyway. And the Republicans, to their credit, they have. I mean, they have. I don't like turning political, but they have.
You can stop.
They have totally.
But doesn't it affect your
well?
Like even if you're just gonna stone cold vote, like whatever, because I'm a Republican, I'm always Republican, I'll always vote Republican. Don't you think those people think, well, this is not fair?
No, they don't care.
I'm sure.
I think people have more morals than that.
Because here's the deal. You're saying, are you, like you said, are you watching this? No, I'm not. You know why? Because I've already made up my mind. And you know what? I would say the percentage of the people in this country that are watching this, like, I really need to find out more about this. No, it's just it's people that like want to have somebody come up and pat them on the back because they hate Trump, and they're like, look at this stuff we're showing you. He's an awful person. Oh, my feelings of hating the president are justified by this. And then when he isn't, we can be just
getting away with things that you shouldn't get away with. Did you hear the Alexander Hamilton quote?
Yes, and exactly. Yeah, exactly. Here's another soundbite, and we can all feel good about it. And it's like, ha ha ha, and then it'll be forgotten because matter. What?
I have more hope.
Well,
yeah, we'll get.
So, when the vote comes, I want you to text me immediately.
And can't admit that he did anything wrong. In my book, are completely corrupt and bankrupt, morally bankrupt.
Everyone bankrupt.
Sometimes it's black and white, and sometimes it's gray, and this was really not gray.
Well, think about this. Think of all the money that our country is spending on this right now. For an outcome that we all know what's going to happen,
and all the issues we're ignoring.
I don't know. I don't remember the time. I mean, obviously, the internet was not around when when Clinton was impeached, but like
that was a pile of crap too. That was stupid.
Same thing, same sentiment.
But no, it was back then though. It was Republicans are like, he got a BJ in his office, he's awful, because like, I don't even know what a BJ is, but he got one.
Thing is, they've got all these guys on tape, and they're replaying them now, and they, of course,
Yeah, but they don't care. The Republicans are just like, yeah, we're all gonna vote. Okay, yeah, okay, fine, done. Yeah, have your fun, Because it comes down to, it doesn't matter who says what or here. I mean, like I said, if there was a YouTube video of him breaking the necks of puppies, then people would be like, because then people
and get away with it.
No, because here's the deal: we are we live in a country where a jogger, like in California, gets killed by a mountain lion. This happened like 10 years ago. She got killed by a mountain lion. It was like starving, attacked her, killed her, ate half of her.
Yeah, I remember.
The hunters, they went out there, found her, killed her, but she had 6 cubs, right? And so they took the cubs, and they didn't want to kill them, so they brought them, and they were trying to rehabilitate them or whatever, and give them to zoos, something like that. The zoo asked for people to give donations for these 6 cubs. They got something like $100,000, just like basically 10 times the amount of money as per the donation for the woman who was killed by the mountain lion, who left 2 kids without a mother. It was just like 10 times the amount of money. It's like, we care more. So like if you showed something where Trump was was putting puppies in trash bags and throwing them into the river, it would be like every single person that every single constituent would say, if you don't vote to impeach him, I swear to God, I'm going to make sure you're voted out of office. They'd be like, holy shit, you're gone, buddy. Get Pence in there. You can't kill puppies. Oh, but you can be a misogynistic piece of shit that just living off his daddy's money, and just like he's just padding his own pockets and everything like that, and just making your entire nation worse. That's fine.
Whatever. Did you watch Don't Fuck with Cats yet?
What?
Did you watch Don't Fuck with Cats yet?
Oh yes, my wife watched it, and she said it scarred her, and I was just like, I'm not gonna watch it, but she told me about it. I was just like,
what do you mean scarred?
Like as far as the kittens being killed, yeah.
Yeah, that's a spoiler. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
you
just
know that before going in.
yeah, I mean it's I did watch the Aaron Hernandez thing on Netflix, and that was
yeah, I need to watch it actually. Oh my God.
that was astoundingly good.
Oh,
Oh
I know.
my,
I'm very because he was a UF guy, man. He was a Gator.
yeah, and they dive into like basically like the fact that they just scratching the surface as far as the possible violent crimes that he was involved in.
Yeah.
And he was just smart enough to kill himself when he was completely innocent of all, because like he died innocent.
He died and he was not convicted.
He was not convicted.
Have you seen Parasite yet? Yes,
Yes.
you did see Parasite last year.
Yeah, I made fun of you.
I
went
that
to
movie
it.
is so great. It makes me like want to make movies.
Yeah, it definitely it was a movie that I went into it. Somebody said it was a really good movie, and we have the Fargo, if you type in Fargo Theater, you'll see pictures of the famous Fargo Theater. It's been around for like 100 years or more. And my dad's cousin, so I'm like tangentially related to him, used to own it. He doesn't own it anymore. But I used to go to movies for free at the Fargo Theater all the time with my dad. And but like that's our like artsy fartsy theater. Like, and so they had Parasite, and so I went there. A buddy of mine said that movie's amazing, you got to go see it, and I went to go see it, and I was like, wow, okay.
I thought it was going to be a genre movie.
That I mean, and you can't tell anybody anything about it. You have to watch it. I mean, like he said, just go see it. Just go see it, and we'll talk about it.
Not knowing anything about it. Unfortunately, I knew a little bit about it, but it was.
I don't know anything about it. Is it horror? That's all I want to know.
No,
it's not a genre movie.
Not at all.
It's a thriller.
Yeah, a thriller would be a good thing. I would say it's got horror aspects, but not it's not out and out horror.
Okay.
I'll say what's a shitty movie though. Underwater. Boy, is that a bad movie. I was super excited to see that movie.
That's the Kristen Stewart one, right?
Yeah, I was super excited because somebody said, "Oh, it's gonna be like a Cthulhu movie," and I was like, "Oh no, this is just like, no, bad, dumb."
Need to watch 1917 as well, but I want to.
It's so good. Me and my wife saw it in IMAX. See it in IMAX if you can.
Yeah, Chris Richards says it's horrifying.
It is just
some horrifying parts in the movie for sure.
And just the way it's shot, it's just so incredible.
Yeah, it's 4 cuts, right? I think, and like 2 scenes or 3 scenes or something like that.
It looks like all one cut, and it's just so seamless.
Yeah, I need to see that because that intrigues me. I got to see it on the big screen. Hopefully, I can get there before it goes out.
One of the best war movies I've ever seen, and I love war movies.
Yeah, because I mean, I liked what was the last big war movie? It was the one with the guy from the boy band. What was that called?
Timberlake?
No, it was the drawing a blank on everything. Hold on, I'll think of it. It was like a couple years ago. World War II. They're trapped, and they're like, the British. They have to get them all off. All the
Dunkirk.
What was that?
Dunkirk.
The best thing about Dunkirk is the sound they played through the entire movie.
My gosh, I saw that because I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan.
Yeah,
that was physically painful while watching the movie, and I don't know if I still to this day because that was one of the first IMAX movies I saw when we got our new IMAX theater, and it was. I don't know if I liked it or disliked it. Like nothing has ever come close to that level of noise that Dunkirk was. Where
you have that I forget what they call it, but it's always descending the tone.
No, it's always ascending. It's like
is it always
it's constantly ramping up, but it never
finishes.
It never finishes, and it's called the shepherd tone, is what it's called.
Shepherd tone.
And so there's like basically these separate octaves.
Yeah.
And all of them are escalating at the same time, but as they escalate, then like the it changes which one's the loudest. So it's always increasing no matter what.
Always sounds louder and louder.
It always just seems like it's getting louder and raising up and louder and raising up, and it never gives up.
Yeah, that was cool.
I liked Dunkirk. I wanted more out of it though, but I liked it.
It wasn't deep enough.
No.
It's interesting if you watch the Winston Churchill movie. Was that something of Darkness or whatever?
I finally watched Two Popes. That was good.
You can watch the Winston Churchill movie, pause it at the Dunkirk part, watch Dunkirk, and then come back to finish off the Winston Churchill movie.
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour. Yeah.
Have you seen They Will Not Grow Old? I wanted to see that.
Watched it.
I
Yeah.
saw that in the theater. It was really good.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific, actually. That's the horrific movie.
I was gonna see it at my AMC because I got the Movie Pass thing, but that was one that they blacklisted that I couldn't see, so I was pretty pissed. And I want to see it on the big screen.
Are you on the AMC program now? Like, because I know they have their own.
Yeah, me and my wife have done that for like about 8 months, and it's I love it. It's a good reason to go out on a date night, and it's just like even if we don't have the most money to go out and go to dinner, it's not like we just go to the movie, spend some time together, go to Walmart, go to the store, and
pull out the popcorn bucket out of the trash and get a refill.
oh, now it's down to just soda pop at the end.
Soda pop.
AMC now has the big refillable one.
Yeah.
So, nobody's throwing that out. We got one of those for my kids though, so whenever we go with the kids, we fill that up.
Oh, you buy the plastic cup and
Yeah, we bought it. Well, the thing about AMC too is you get like a gift card like every 3 months, a $5 gift card every 3 months, so it just accumulates just for being a customer. And then if you spend tickets on somebody else, so we'll buy like my son a ticket, we get credits for that too. It's a really good program. We have a good AMC by it.
seems like a good deal actually. If you like going to the movies.
And here's the other big thing that I absolutely love is you feel like an A-lister. Like it's called AMC A-list, and me and my wife joke about it all the time. You legit feel like an A-lister. You have your own special line, and they call you first. I was there. Yeah, we went and saw 1917 on Saturday night. Big IMAX show. It was packed. And there was probably about 20, 30 people in that line, and we walk right to the front of the AMC line, which has nobody else in it, and we get called next. And it's a good deal, and it makes you feel pretty bad.
It's infuriating as a non-A-lister.
Like when I take my kid
For like half an hour, stupid popcorn, and you go walk up and get your stupid popcorn.
that's because we're A-listers. We're A-listers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they have 2 lines at the one here in Dallas.
Well, I think it's a great idea. It really encourages you if you're
Everybody's an A-lister.
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Feels good. I like it.
I guess I shouldn't complain too much because we do have BGG Con Premium.
Yeah, oldie. What?
Nothing. Did I tell you guys about the when we went to go see Star Wars? Did I mention this already on the show?
I don't think
We went and saw Star Wars. My realtor took us, and because she's an A-lister, she had 4 tickets or whatever. So we go and we're walking out and walk down the escalator, and we're standing there talking. And this guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, my name's Greg, and I just want to introduce myself. I'm the manager of the AMC upstairs, and I was just wondering did you guys like the movie? Like, because I know you guys went and saw Star Wars." And I'm like, "Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, this is the first blush, right? Like, where I hadn't thought about it too much. Yeah, I liked it." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't sure, because I've seen it now like 20 times, and I'm not, I don't know if I really like it or not, and just wanted to check to see what you guys thought." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what those are." Everybody liked it. So then he keeps talking, and he's like, "Yeah, like I'm the manager here, and and my realtor just takes over, right? She's a talker, like she just talks." And somehow we got into this thing. He's like, "Yeah, I just want to introduce myself, and if you guys ever want anything like special tickets or whatever, like if you want to come to the thing." I'm like, what did we do to get this special treatment? I still can't figure it out. He's like, "Yeah, I got special tickets for 1917 on Christmas Day. If you guys want them." We're like, "Yeah." "Oh, you may get your emails." And he writes them down, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll send you tickets." We didn't get tickets, by the way. So I was kind of like, "What the fuck? Like, why are you?" And he hung out there for like 45 minutes talking to us about all this, sort of bragging about how much special events go on. He's, "Yeah, if you want to get on the, red carpet line for new series and stuff. I'll get you in there, and I'm like, why are you why are you doing this, right? Like, I was wondering what his motivation was. Like, do you know me, or do you know my realtor, or like, what's the deal? It was really strange. So theoretically, we're supposed to get all the special treatment, but we haven't heard a peep from him. Like, nothing. Gave my email address, nothing.
That's weird.
And he literally sat there for 45 minutes with us and talked. And I'm like, all the restaurants are closing, so like, yeah, I need to go because we want to actually have dinner. It was really an awkward. It was interesting because he told us all the secret AMC information, but nothing came of it.
Huh.
Yeah. I almost asked him if he was a board gamer, just to wonder if he knew who I was or knew who my realtor was or whatever. Strange.
Well, I mean, maybe he's just that guy, right? No.
Yeah, I don't know. But why promise all this stuff when I know who you are now and then not deliver it? Yeah. I mean, I don't care, honestly. Like, whatever. It would have been nice if we could have gone, because we didn't do anything at Christmas. It would have been nice to go see the movie, but whatever.
I had I had a situation where, I mean, like, we used to go to this one restaurant like all the time, and we like we came in there one night, like a couple days before Christmas, and like, we just ordered our food like we always did, and the guy just came out, and like, we had never talked to him to save our lives ever, other than him showing us the room, and he came back and goes, hey, tonight dinner's on me, and he's like, you guys come in here all the time, Merry Christmas. And we're just like, oh, well, that was cool, I was just, but I mean, like, the fact that like they remember, so maybe, like I said, it's just like, that's just like his thing. I don't know. I mean,
it was really strange because he beelined to us after the movie was over, came down the escalator and walked right up to us. And
well, maybe he like wanted a new best friend, and you didn't come through.
I was lacking. I was found lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You failed him in some way.
Like the biggest theater in Dallas. I don't know if I would put myself out there and offer things to people like that. It's not like I don't know who he is now.
What is like? What's isn't that Alamo Draft House?
No, it's the AMC at North Park. It's huge. It's massive. It's like the biggest theater in Dallas. Alamos are small here. I mean, yeah, the theaters are pretty small. I mean, I like Alamo because you get to eat and drink or whatever. But
hey, did what's his face? The Ain't It Cool guy, Harry Knowles, ever get exonerated, or is he back in the news down there yet, or is he still like?
Didn't he die?
No, I don't think so.
He died. No.
No. I think I would have heard that by now.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I misremembered.
I just remember, like, yeah, like he owed a bunch of people a lot of money, and the website was like.
I vaguely remember him being ousted.
Yeah, he somebody accused him of like sexual battery, and then like he denied all allegations, but then vanished from the view. Hold on, I hold my dog up.
What's going on with you, Barry? How you been?
All right, working in the shop a little bit. It's good to get a pair of dice back in my hand.
Playing any games lately?
Games? No.
No games.
Played Detective, that
Yeah.
game a while ago. About a month ago, I guess.
Did you like it?
We played the first case. Yeah, it was okay. I could see going down a rabbit hole with that a bit.
Did you play co-op or did you play competitive?
Co-op?
Yeah. How was the co-op? Is it fun?
Yeah. I actually didn't realize it came with a competitive version.
Yeah, so in the competitive mode, one person plays the what is he called? The grip? No.
No, that's not that one. The other one, the one by Portal.
Oh, that detective. Yeah. In a year where 2 detective games come out, both called Detective. Yeah. Okay.
And then we got them fun pop games, but we haven't gotten them to the table yet.
Fun Pop.
Yeah, like the Batman and Robin ones.
Oh, Funko. Funko Pop. You see they releasing Jurassic Park.
Are they?
2 sets. All the characters plus a T-Rex and a Velociraptor, I think. I was hoping for the Big Lebowski.
Give up that thing. Yeah, but other than that, it's just been physical therapy. And like I said, I'm trying to get that shop together in the garage. It's almost done. I finished the wiring today.
So you're back up on your feet?
Sort of. I have walked without a cane or crutch or anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And right before Thanksgiving, I did that for the first time. That was, I think it was like 35 feet. Then I had to take a 3-week break from it through Christmas and all that because of scheduling. And then the last 2 weeks, it's only been one day. Last week was finally the first 2-day week I've had, and I basically tripled the distance. I went like 120 feet without a cane or a crutch yesterday. I call it swimming. It's like a safety harness, sort of, on me, just because, I'm over 200 pounds. I fall that poor girl. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'll crush her. But yeah, it's coming along. I got to get rid of the fear of falling that they drilled into me in the fucking hospital.
What did they say? Don't fall?
Yeah, like call for help, don't get up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I did the math the other day, actually. It's only been 8 months since my surgery. In my mind, it's a lot longer, and I'm going a lot slower than I want to. But according to them, I'm going probably twice as fast as normal, with this type of injury and all that. It's getting frustrating. Yeah.
Oh, you got to get games back into your life somehow.
I'll try. Jen's still really out there mentally. She's really depressed still over her mother dying and all that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Just trying to get her back in the swing of things.
Well, there's been a lot of good games released since you last played.
Oh, I'm sure it's been 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so start playing them, like right now.
No. Well, I don't know.
It's kind of tough with Jen because we have we like different games.
Yeah.
I'm more into the thinky or longer games. She's into the 20, 30-minute games, Card games.
Well, Detective seems like something you could sink into.
Yeah, she enjoyed it. Like I said, we played the first case. We just didn't get back to it yet. We will. Like I said, stuff. She works 6 days a week. God knows what
Yeah.
she want to have off.
Hey, what's up with your baseball team cheating down there in Texas?
Who's that?
I don't follow baseball.
Houston
they
Astros.
Are they
Bunch of
winning or
cheaters.
something? Oh, you're talking about the Astros. That's not my team, by the way. The Texas
You're in
Rangers.
Texas. You're in Texas.
Yeah, but the Texas Rangers. Even though I don't really follow it.
Yeah, no. Houston, bunch of cheaters.
Oh, yeah, what's up with that? What'd they do? All these weird.
They
Keep-
use
keep
so
this?
when they put in they put in review cameras basically so they could have cameras that would allow if you could challenge basically get instant replay. So they had cameras, and what they did is that the Houston Astros put in another camera, so it just was like that was in the center field that was zoomed in on the catcher and their signs, and there's a pretty damning video out there. This is old news at this point, but if you haven't seen it, there's a really damning video out there of basically there's this. So they would and whenever they would call like a off-speed pitch. So like basically if like you're gonna get a slider, you're gonna get a curveball, you're gonna get a changeup. and not going to get a fastball, they would literally hit the top, like they turned a trash can over and they just hit the top of it with a bat. And like there was a guy basically in the hallway because they had a monitor they could watch and they could see that, and so one's a fastball, two's a slider, three's a changeup, whatever. And they go whoomp 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 whoomp. They just bang on the top of the cap. And there's a really good video. This guy basically went, because MLB.com has all the, if you subscribe, you can watch any old game. And there's this one where it's just like you can hear, like the guy calls fastball, no sound, fastball, no sound, curveball. All of a sudden you hear this whoomp 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 whoomp, and it's just like, and sure enough, it's a curveball. And then fastball. And so basically they were hammering on it. Now here's where it gets. And people saw it in multiple games, but here's the deal. Like in the postseason, and this is the one that Jose Altuve, the Astros guy, they basically had a tie game, bottom of the ninth, guy on first, I believe, and they had the Red Sox, the Yankees had World Series. Oh no, ALCS, sorry. Yankees had their like guy who could throw 100 miles an hour, just throwing pellets, as they say, and Jose Altuve is up there, and the first time the guy throws an off speed, basically throws a slider, so it's like instead of 100-mile-an-hour fastball, he gets like an 85-mile-an-hour slider. He tees off on it and hits a home run.
Yep.
So, and as he's running home, like the crowd's going crazy, he just won the game bottom of the ninth. He's holding his jersey like this.
Yeah.
And he yells, "Don't rip my jersey, guys. Don't rip my jersey." And then so they all have this big celebration, and he holds his jersey like close like this the entire time.
Yeah.
And then he dashes off into, normally it's like you go and you immediately have a conversation with the like after the game, like, oh hey, let's talk to the hero of the game. He removes his jersey and he gets, and so he's just got his undershirt on when he's talking to the reporter out on the field. And people have like slowed it down, and they like, you can see where like it looks like basically he had something underneath it. And there's been a few people who have basically said they had, because you couldn't hear, the crowd is so loud, you couldn't hear a trash can, but
yeah.
They basically taped a buzzer on them, and they would just basically like Bluetooth the buzzer to them. Wow. And like they'd feel it.
I already kind of hated baseball because of the juicing. Now I really hate baseball. Like I feel like it shouldn't even be a sport.
It's just it's
corrupt. It's like why do we watch this corrupt bullshit cheating thing? Just watch wrestling. It's like if you want fake sports.
Well, here's the deal. Like the next year, they came within an out of making it to the World Series again. Like they're like a really, really good team. It was just like, and they actually hit better on the road than they did at home. Now, but the teams they faced.
I gotta think knowing the pitch ahead of time would really.
Or just having that clue, yeah. It was just, but and the fact that they did it, and like, and so they fired. So after MLB investigated, they suspended no players got any fines or anything, but like the general manager and the head coach of the Astros, they both were suspended for a year, and then they were immediately fired by the Houston Astros. Like just boom, you're gone. See you later. And
they lose their title.
No, they're not going to lose their title, at least not yet, anyway. So then Alex Cora, who played on that team, who had retired after the World Series, and then now he was the manager of the Boston Red Sox. He was named as one of the like kingpins of the whole deal. He got fired by the Boston Red Sox because they were going to suspend him for a year. So they fired him. So like basically he was a player at that time, but he wasn't a player like now. So like they gave him the hee-ho. And then Carlos Beltran, who was a player, a very, very good player on that Houston Astros team, but he had retired as well. And now he was going to be the manager of the New York Mets. He hadn't managed a single game. They hired him 7 days later. He was named in the thing, and then the Mets just fired him. They were like, we're going to mutually decide to part ways at this time.
Mutually,
So, I mean, basically the whole thing is that it's like, they've always said like stealing signs is like a huge part of baseball. If there's a guy on second base,
that's natural.
Like, but it was considered like gamesmanship, but like the moment like you're using like technology, they say is like the problem.
Well, if no one's on second and you can guess the signals.
And that's just it. It was like, I remember a game many, many years ago. I was watching the Minnesota Twins play the Texas Rangers. This is like in the early 90s. And Steve Buechele, the third baseman of the Texas Rangers, was on second base. And he was just like leaning this way or that way to like kind of let the batter know if the pitch was coming inside or outside. Because like they'll call for a fastball and they'll tap like which side of the leg they want it to be, inside or out.
Don't they cloak that now? Like
they try to, but then the catcher for the Twins, this guy Brian Harper, came out and the pitcher thought he was coming out to talk to him, but he walked right by him and got in Steve Buechele's face. There's big everybody unloads. Like no punches thrown, no nothing. Just a lot of everybody gets out of the thing and they just yell and bark at each other, blah, 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 blah. Everybody goes back down. Then the guy, Buechele, continues to do it. The guy that's batting hits a ground rule double, so the ball bounces into the over the fence. And so Steve Buechele walks the last 15 feet because he gets 2 bases, walks the last 15 feet to home plate, and Brian Harper is just sitting there with like steam coming out of his ears. He stamps on home plate, and you see him getting ready to like go like this, like I told you, or he was going to say something, and Brian Harper just bam.
I just lost your audio, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just getting feedback.
We lost your audio. Did you punch your mic? We don't hear you, Lance.
I don't think it matters to him though.
It went like as soon as you went bam, like all hell broke loose. Oh wait. Oh no. Are you back? Hello? Yes, we hear you now.
Now?
Yes.
Now.
That was interesting timing.
No, basically like
bam. All went
punch him or whatever, and then done. And then all. But that was back when you got into a giant fight. Nobody got thrown out. It was just kind of like, okay, did you guys get it out of your system? Okay, let's continue playing the game. So they settled it like men on the field.
The only sport I watch now is football, NFL, not college at all.
Who's your pick? Who's your pick for
San Francisco can be beat.
Kansas City looking pretty good.
It'll be a great game, I think.
I just want San Francisco to win.
Last year would be a great game too, and freaking Rams just folded.
I want San Fran to win, so I can just say, well, the Vikings had no chance. They were the team of destiny, So I mean. I always say that.
You want to be beat by the champs, right?
Oh yeah, you get beat by the champs. They were the team of destiny. You couldn't defeat them, right? Or the fix was in. They decided San Francisco paid the money. Well, did you see not to be sports ball talking, because I know people's like just drawn out, but did you see like the weird like crazy stats where like the Green Bay Packers had the least number of like penalties called on them, and also like they had the most like what they determined were like drive changing penalty calls. Like they're 3rd and 11 and they throw an incomplete pass, but they call pass interference, and so they get a first down or just whatever. And they had the most penalties like that, and they had the same umpiring crew for like 12 of their 16 games. And so then they went into, and then they were supposed to have this, like the same the referee crew for the NFC Championship game, and the NFL decided to like just break it up, like to like have like we're gonna intermix the refs.
I seem to remember in the Green Bay game, Dallas got called for tripping twice.
Yeah,
tripping. You know how many tripping calls were in the NFL last year? 3. 2 of them were in the Dallas game. I mean, I don't know if those are real numbers, but it's such a rare penalty.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah, because you can't try to tackle somebody with your feet. It's you're not allowed. It's just one of those things.
Your leg, that's not tripping, right? If they
I mean, I remember Otis John Anderson. I don't call him OJ Anderson. That's not what his name was, but Otis John Anderson. He was a running back for the Giants, and he fumbled the ball, and the linebacker like picked it up, and he stepped over him, but he stepped in between his legs. And I remember like Otis John Anderson like crossed his legs and basically wedged his leg into place, like so he couldn't run. Yeah. And then the guy fell down, and then like I remember they gave a tripping penalty because you can't use your legs to tackle. You can't run up and kick somebody and hopefully knock them down to tackle. I remember that. I still remember seeing that play. But no, yeah, and so they busted up, and so immediately they sent. There's tons of memes out there, like the Aaron Rodgers looking all forlorn and sad on that. And it's like when you realize the refs aren't going to bail you out of another game.
They also got their ass kicked in that game.
Oh, that was such a good game. I was so worried. I mean, Green Bay Packers fans are. Remember what I said? Remember what I said about like the like, oh, our team's better than the Green Bay Packers. Oh, how many Super Bowls you won, Vikings fans? It's like you haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years. Well, we won one. We've won them. You haven't. You suck. It's like talking to a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Oh, 6 Super Bowls, baby. 6, count them. You haven't won anything ever in so long. 6 of them. just the worst.
Yeah.
No, the Vikings suck. Suck.
Jason Garrett got hired by New York Giants, and the day that happens, or the next day, Eli Manning retires.
Well, he was out. He wasn't doing it.
I know, but it's just funny. It's bad timing for.
Well, that guy that got
Garrett hasn't called a play in 11 years.
Yeah.
10 years or something, or 9 years. 9 years.
My father-in-law is a huge Dallas fan, and he hated Jason Garrett with every fiber of his being. He probably hated Jason Garrett more than me.
But he definitely doesn't inspire anyone, at least on the outside, right? Like that's important too, right?
Yeah, he. I remember him like he would come in and say they got to get rid of Garrett. That's the reason we can't win anymore. And I was
we'll see. All right, we got to stop talking about sports.
Yeah, sports ball. That kind of annoys me when you talk to people that don't know anything, like they don't like talking about sports. Fine, you don't like sports. I can like football, I can like baseball, but I can still like board games and role playing games a lot too. But it's like, oh, are you enjoying your sports ball talk? It's like I'm a nerd like you, so it's like, what am I? You can't make fun of me. I'm not like weirdo jock guy. Chad's in the chat. Why hasn't Chad ever joined us and talk to us about like role playing games or stuff? What?
You need to get Chad in the game. Get him on the.
Well, I know, but why doesn't he ever come on? Like we could sit here and talk about like D&D and stuff all night long. How many times do you think that role playing game room is going to be used in your facilities?
They've got a weekly group going right now.
Oh, really? That's awesome. You don't still play 4th edition though, do you?
Not me. I'm not in it.
No, they don't play 4th edition. I remember you thinking 4th edition was awesome and amazing.
Playing Tales of the Yawning Portal.
Tales of the Yawning Portal. That's a good book.
And they want to. Yeah, they're going to go through the whole thing.
That's pretty cool.
Warriors being the final.
Nice.
Just not cut out for role playing games. I'm just not. I love tactical dungeon crawls if they're good.
Gotcha.
But I just hate the role playing part.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm not an actor. I can't pretend. Something.
You're the great pretender?
I feel goofy.
You gotta just throw that away.
How do I do that though? I can't.
You just realize that. How do you dance? You know, think you're gonna look stupid. You just go and dance because everybody else thinks they're looking stupid too. You know, I mean, trust me, with the dancing, I gotta have a few in me.
Yeah, but I don't want to drink in a role playing game where.
No, I remember we did that once, and that was a relationships ended. Like one guy got I remember one time one guy got so drunk he tore the banister down in my apartment room, screaming at some guy. Just like it was just, and then he was like screaming out, and I remember my roommate at the time. This big huge guy. His name was Phil, and he was sitting there. And he was like, "What the hell is that guy doing out there?" I don't know. He won't get in his car. He's like, "Well, he's fucking leaving." It's like, guy, please starts putting his shoes on. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna go kill him."
So I remember in college I played a Shadowrun campaign with these guys.
Ooh, Shadowrun, good stuff.
The computer science department.
Yeah.
And the first night I went over there, they're all in such character, and I couldn't tell. Like, are you guys fucking with me? Or are you like in character? You know what I mean? Like. It just, I couldn't get into it. It's weird.
I tend to, I just,
to break through that.
I usually just try to like annoy one person, and then feed off of that, like kind of.
Annoy one person.
Well, like, okay, so my buddy Craig, he always ends up playing a character that just drives me crazy because it annoys me to no end, and then he just always hates my characters all the time. Like, you know, and he's always like my character in the campaign we're in now that we've been going on for so long. He's the only character who's lived the entire time since the first session. Everybody else is on their second, third, or even fourth character. And, you know, Connor the Bard is still there just because I basically
the chicken. What was that Monty Python character?
Yeah, basically, Sir Robin's Minstrels.
Robin. Yeah,
no, I'm actually fairly effective at what I do now, but for the most part, what it is that it's just like I'm a support character, and as soon as things go bad, I run, and I have all these spells that allow me to run. I have like gaseous form and invisibility, and I have all these defensive spells that'll save my hide. Probably the best thing I did was everybody else. We had this battle and everybody else got killed but me, and there was this priest that, like, in this game world we're in, that like there's like this one major religion, and like those priests have like ultimate power. Like it doesn't matter if they're like a low priest. They walk into a room, people are like, "Oh, how can we serve you?" Because they wield so much power, and people are worried about getting on their bad side. But anyway, so I was the only person to go back to basically the high priestess and tell her this sorrowful tale of woe over us like having lost the combat. A combat which I ran like a good 3-4 rounds before it really turned bad. I was like, invisibility, I'm out of here. I figured they'd run too, but they all got cut down and killed. But Craig's dwarven priest, I hated his character so much. And then they were like, and the high priestess says, "Well, Bard, play us the song, tell us what happened." And like, of course, my skill is really high. And so I said, "I proceed to tell a sorrowful tale of my heroic deeds and the cowardice of the dwarven priest." And he was just so, and everybody was like applauding me, and like I got all these like Betty's and stuff, and poor Craig was just like, "His name shall be stricken from the priestal record," and just like, and he was just like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." I was like, "What? You're dead. You can't come back." Just like your next character can't hold a grudge on me.
Like, I don't know if I've ever played a game of D&D or whatever where I've run away.
Oh, see, we play hardcore. Like, pick a fight you can't win, you need to get out of there.
Okay.
And that's one of the main ways that because when I dungeon master, I am hold on, my wife just texted me. I played fast and loose. I mean, I don't get bogged down with rules. If it's like a discrepancy where we're having an argument about like, "Oh, I think it should be this way," a player says, and I say it should be the other way, I'll just say, Dice with Death, and we both roll a d20, and whoever rolls higher
Gets their way.
gets their way. Because it's just like, let's not have an argument. It's one of those things where I always just kind of figure out, I'm dealing with. I don't write out giant adventures. It's just it's one of those things where I know I have a map. I have a good idea of where stuff is, but I gauge the strength of the party by their levels and the number of hit points they have, basically. So if they have 120 hit points as a group together, yep. I can give them 120 hit points of monsters, but I don't go by the fact that an orc has 8 hit points. You can run into a big beefy orc that's got 40 hit points, and I don't have monster manuals in front of me or anything like that. I give the monsters the damage and the powers I think that they should have, and that way the players can't just say, it's a gargoyle, it's immune to magic, this, that, and the other thing. I throw all that stuff out and I just make the monsters I want. If it's a 6-hit die monster, it just gets +6 to hit. It gets +6 to saves. If it's a 2-hit dice monster, it gets +2 to hit, +2 to saves. I don't worry about the minutia. I worry about making sure the combats get them into it, make them fun. And I describe what happens. It's they don't just you hit and do 7 points of damage. It's like it's like the orc charges you and slips on the water on the ground, and you shove the spear directly into his gut. You see it pop out of his back, and you pull it out and he falls to the ground. I have to be descriptive. Make them believe what's going on, and let the hero shine. That's the biggest thing too. Say yes more often, and let your players shine. As far as they're supposed to be heroes. I don't care if it's grimdark, fine, and you're being gritty and everything like that. But let them shine. Let them be successful. Let them be the heroes of your story. Don't just make them, yet another, group of villagers. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cared about the villagers of the Magnificent Seven. They cared about the Magnificent Seven. Let them shine. Just and make them the focal point. And the other big thing is that that I believe in is don't the world isn't set up into cookie cutter, this is the first level area of the world, this is the second level. Let your players run into something that is going to be too powerful for them, and maybe even kill one of them, and then everybody else just runs away as the ogre continues gnawing on the halfling, and then the rest of you survive. Throw that guy a character sheet, roll some dice, and then they're going to remember that ogre, and they're going to get a little tougher, and they're going to go back and kill him, and they're going to feel good about it. I also don't believe in everybody marking down how many gold coins they have or anything like that. I just tell the players, if it's something you want, it's just I want a new longsword. Fine, you can have a new longsword. You go and you have enough money in your pocket. I don't care about that. It's just if it's just one of those things where it's I make it a point that yes, the stats on the character sheet matter, but it's having a suit of plate mail over a suit of chainmail isn't going to save you. It's a small little it's a few numbers difference on the sheet, and it's not who you are. Who you are is the character you're portraying. I've had more fun playing sad sack loser characters than I have playing the most powerful, decked out Pathfinder character that I plotted out every single level, and I figured out how I could do +70 damage by level 9. That's kind of neat to power game, but after a while you're like, yeah, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? And because I don't play with rules anymore, really. I just play the game. If that makes sense.
Sure.
I'm gonna hold on one second. My wife just texted me.
I guess that's why I like the D&D board games, because they're just so basic, and you still feel like you're. There's no role playing part of it, but you're just fighting.
Yeah, and for me, the role playing is the best part.
Yeah. Did you play that The Fantasy Flight Choose Your Own Adventure role playing game they made.
Which one was that? Was that like it came in the box and it was like
Valens made it, if I'm not mistaken.
the what?
Valens made it.
I'm trying to remember what the name of that one was.
Dragon.
Yeah, I can see the picture. I bought it for my daughter, and it's like sitting on her shelf. We've never played it.
Chad will know.
Chad knows everything.
We need to get Chad in here sometime.
Yeah, not like 10 minutes before I go to bed though.
No, I'm about to fall asleep. I have to tell you, not having curtains makes me wake up a lot earlier than I used to.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Dragon Fail? I meant to go back and play it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because it might be the role playing I want. Where it's mostly like narrative and then I get to make the choices.
Is that really role playing?
Dragon Veil?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was always wondering why they never came up with another one. What do I know?
Let me do a search.
I'll do it quick because I'm falling asleep.
And I'm not on the camera anymore.
My wife is out of town on business, and like, man, I sometimes like usually on Wednesday nights I get to like sleep in. I don't have to take my son to school at like 7 in the morning, and I can take my daughter to school at 8. Nope, I'll be taking both, so I'll be up at 7. Stupid time. Always moving forward.
Yes. Where is that quest?
This is riveting.
I know. I want to find it though.
He's determined now. It's personal.
Didn't come on, Chad? Why haven't you mentioned it by now?
No.
Dragonholt?
Legacy of Dragonholt.
Legacy of Dragonholt. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I gotta try that. I heard a lot of good things.
Yeah,
I heard good things. All right, let's wrap her up.
On the right.
Congratulations on your new office.
Thanks.
And everybody out there, if you haven't backed Tortuga 2199 yet, Aldi.
No, I don't believe I have.
No, you haven't, because I've been sending out a message to every single one of our backers, and I haven't seen your name yet.
A little behind on my Kickstarter.
Well, you better back it and back it again.
Back it and back it again. What kind of game?
Deck building, area control, Space Pirates.
Okay. Tortuga
2199. Space.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. See you next week.
Yeah.